And hello, welcome to Manapot Studios. We are not playing a Cage Sustain tonight, unfortunately, but fortunately, depending on where alliances lie, we are doing a Pathfinder Second Edition one shot that will be run by me, your not usual DM. I'm Homero, aka User Error, and I'll let everyone introduce themselves, and in game we will introduce our actual characters. So we can start off with.
Oh, hi, hello. My name is Liza. If you watch the show, you have seen my face. Am I introducing my character now, Homero, or later?
No, yeah, you can go ahead. You can go ahead, just because. Let's
Ah,
go for it.
I
Otherwise,
was gonna
what do
say
you have to say
people
aside from like
could
your name?
be
People know.
my.
Yeah.
I know that's pretty. I mean, I'll talk if you want, but today I am playing Grin, who is a goblin swashbuckler. Um, he is very small and very interested in grand adventures, uh, and will fight you absolutely.
Excellent. And next, right above me, Silvana. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Silviana, and I am playing Kaj Batukjo, who is a sand strider lizard folk, so kind of like a bearded dragon, and is a life oracle. And the oracle is one of the new playtest classes for Pathfinder 2e. And so they draw on mysteries of the world that they may not really understand, that are divine in nature but not tied to any specific deity. And so Kaj draws on the life force of creatures around them.
Excellent. And then our not GM today.
Hi, I'm Chris, also known as Krifu Bernal, and today I am playing Uthris, a frilled lizard folk barbarian. The frilled lizard folk is because we have different heritages. They can throw up their frill to intimidate people visually, and so they don't rely on language necessarily to intimidate. Which is going to be sweet as a barbarian, so I'm stoked to try that out.
Excellent. And our resident fighter.
Yes, I am playing. I'm Scott. I'm playing a totally different character this time because instead of being a human, I'm a hobgoblin. And instead of being a fighter with a sword, I'm an archer. So completely different. I'm really branching out, trying new things this time. So my character's name is Harganak. He is a hobgoblin, a professional soldier, and he is a sellsword who has probably kind of been either cast out or was left on his own devices. He is a little hesitant to talk about it, but he is now in this adventuring band and hoping for opportunities for valor and money.
And in both of those cases, those opportunities are definitely available, especially in this growing city of Farings. So, where we are currently, this is a setting going to be in my homebrew, and I'll actually go ahead and switch over to this fella. Give me 1 second. So got this map here on the screen. So we are starting off in this city of Farings. Farings is located directly east of the Forsaken Woods, after which the one shot is named on. The Forsaken Woods for decades were known as Passer's Rest, a fairly quiet public campsite after passing through the mountains, Dominion Peaks. And after a couple years ago, after 8-4, as it's being termed, when basically a large percentage of humanity was essentially wiped out. More details on that later if we want to, but just know that not a great thing happened on 8-4, and thus it's remembered. And since then, these typically quiet woods have suddenly begun spawning various monstrosities, sometimes giants, sometimes demons, sometimes some sort of aberrations, and they begin coming out of this. So essentially, that pass and these woods have been closed off. And as monstrosities come out, they kind of have all been heading east and attacking Farings. So Farings, over the last couple of years, has grown from just a regular port town into this enormous city with multiple inns, this booming industry with an entire section of the city that's dedicated to housing mercenaries and battalions to help fight off these demons. So people come here to live, typically to train and to just, people who are into warfare are going to be chilling in this area. However, a couple months ago, Farings had a particularly devastating attack where some large demons broke in and caused disease to spread through the city. And since that attacks completely stopped. And since it stopped, everyone that the city has sent in has disappeared or come back without any memory of what's happened. So some third party has hired our intrepid adventurers to go ahead and find out what the actual deal is going on. So imagine as we're flying over the city of Farings, this beautiful city where a lot of the buildings are painted in whites and blues with trims of like seafoam green. And we go into this kind of middling inn that's sort of L-shaped, where the inn, essentially the long part of the L, and the short part of the L is this really nice restaurant slash tavern. So as we go into this tavern, we're pushing in. We go to the left and we push up, right, and you see these like 6 elevated booths. And as soon as the camera pushes past one of them, right past the threshold, there's complete silence. The only thing you can hear now is a conversation inside, which you would assume is some sort of privacy enchantment to allow conversations to be had inside and outside without ever crossing the threshold. So, as you go into this booth, you see a group of 4 people sitting around a table with a 5th person, a dark green tiefling, kind of standing, leaning back on the booth chair, and just it's like 6 empty shot glasses in front of him, and you can tell by the look of their faces that this man has been droning on for like the last 10, 15 minutes almost, without really having giving them a moment to speak. And as he mentions a lot of the city of Farings, a lot of the history, everything that I mentioned to you essentially, he begins to wrap up, puts down his last drink, throws this last shrimp into his mouth and says, "Well, unfortunately for the city of Farings, I don't work for them, and neither do you. So, you have 48 hours, go to the Forsaken Woods, find out what's actually going on. I'm sorry, what were your names again?" And what I would like you to do is actually describe what your character looks like. So if we can go ahead and start with the same. I just want to know, Grin, what does Grin look like? What is kind of outfit?
I think immediately what people see is a small goblin, a deep green tint to the skin, very large floppy ears with a lot of earrings in them, very elaborate sort of vest over the armor, embroidered, and underneath the table you can see kicking, not reaching the floor, large goblin feet with not boots, but the spats that, like, if you had a bad Halloween costume that was supposed to have pirate boots, those like spats that you put on over them, something like that, but actually like kind of nice. All very like piratical in flair. There's a rapier, I think, kind of resting around, and coiling around the rapier sort of impatiently is a long green prehensile tail.
Ooh. All right.
And Grin, I think, turns to the person sitting next to him and says, "Hey, I gave you pretty good odds that he wouldn't remember our names. You gonna shell out or what?" And as he grins, you can see sort of sharpened metal coating over the top row of teeth.
Oh, goblin with a grill. Very nice.
Nice. Kaj is the person sitting next to Grin, and kind of sighs and takes a little copper piece out of their pocket and hands it to Grin. Homero, let me ask you, what is the temperature in this city?
As it's probably this time of the season, it's getting pretty cold. Probably like
Cold.
I'd probably say around maybe, I want to say like around this time of the year, but that means much different from where I am compared to where y'all are. So maybe like where y'all's temperature like a month or two ago.
Okay. So Kaj is rather larger than Grin, being a medium-sized creature, and looks much like a bearded dragon, kind of sandy scales and tiny spikes around their head. They're wearing long sand-colored robes, and the sleeves of the robes extend past their hands as if they are purposefully trying to cover their hands. You are not sure of the gender of this person, but something about them looks vaguely masculine. You also see that they have their robes like closely wrapped around them, but they appear to be quite cold, as if having like the robes insulating them is not actually providing any heat because they are cold-blooded.
Excellent. And Chris?
So next to them is another lizard folk, but this one looks a lot more less composed. He has got his claws in the shrimp bowl, and he just pulls them out, and then there's like 5 little shrimps speared on it. And he's popping them into his mouth. He has a dark green skin tone, but as it moves up his body, it turns to like a lighter, more tropical green. And then around his eyes and temples, there are streaks of red in his hue. And you can see right now, like around his neck, if there's the like extra flap of hide, essentially, his skin that's just relaxed around his shoulders. But he's wearing a hide armor that's been like several leathers have been tied on, like put on bone and molded out, and you can tell that the leathers were at one point bleached white, but with time and battle, they have been stained like dark black, like black and red. And he's just popping the shrimp into his mouth.
Excellent.
And I guess last and potentially least is Harganak. He is a hobgoblin, meaning he has some physical characteristics in common with the goblin across the table with him, but he is considerably taller. He's probably somewhere in the range of 6 feet tall, with kind of wide shoulders and slightly too long arms for his body and 2 short legs, because vaguely inhuman dimensions. But he stands at attention very rigidly and is eyeing the situation. He has grayish, almost bluish colored skin and dark beady red eyes, but still a wide face, large ears, and kind of a mouthful of teeth. And Harganak looks over and says, did you mention who's in charge here? Because it's kind of important, chain of command, and if you need me to step up, I've done this kind of work before. I'm happy to take this on, but could probably need a little bit better pay. And if not, you should assign someone.
Uthris is like licking his fingers and just looks over him. Always edging for a promotion, huh?
If I'm doing it right, that is accurate.
I mean, if any of us is going to get paid more, it's going to be me. I realize, small package and all that, but results are what I deliver.
Is that right?
No, I would never suppose to intrude myself on your adventuring group's hierarchy. Of course, that if there is a leader, that's of course for y'all to decide. As for the pay, I think that's been quite well agreed upon. You've received a phenomenal stay. You've got you're in the city of Farings. From what I hear, you've never been here, and this is all free of cost, expenses complete. And of course, he does. He pauses for a moment. He grabs a bag and he sets down a small bag. This is a quarter of the payment for now, in case you need any provisions before you leave. But the rest will be upon your return. And of course, more if you provide useful information to you.
That's kind of the question I had too before we head out. It's just what's the record, or how do we know that we've been successful? If we walk around don't see anything, then what? We come back and say nothing, and then we still get paid?
If we come back.
Oh, we're
Precisely.
coming back.
Well, that's the thing. The majority of people that go either don't come back or seem to come back without much of a memory. So I suppose the odds are in my favor in that case.
Right, which is why I'm going to take my share and spend it all before we go.
Well, I like a good gamble. Let's do it. Should be fun.
All right.
Very well. And as you're doing this, everyone go ahead and roll a perception check.
Ooh.
This wouldn't be an initiative roll, would it?
No.
Oh. I'm just saying. The reason I bring it up is I get a +2 on initiative roll.
Yeah, I have some bonuses to that as well. Ooh.
Ooh. What?
Okay.
Come on.
Where's perception on the character sheet?
Right
It's
above
above
the
the
skills.
skills. Sorry.
No
Oh,
worries.
I see.
It's now its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
New
Okay.
character sheet, who dis?
Yeah. New system. Who this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did bad.
Oh.
I don't know where is my.
Wow, Scott came in here as the 2nd edition pro, and now look at him floundering
Mhm.
live on air.
I'm having a roll 20. I rolled it, so I rolled something.
What
I don't
did you-
I don't know what. I don't know why it's +8. I don't know why it's not showing it.
That is weird.
Where's my?
Technical difficulties.
As always.
Please hold.
If you have a d20, you can just roll it. I will trust you, Scott.
Okay, well I don't have one on me.
I wouldn't trust
Ooh,
it.
wow.
I just don't know why. Right now it says view all chat and, but it's not showing. My chat log isn't showing up as.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah,
It is
it's like it
weird.
just shows me the welcome to roll 20. I'm gonna try to read.
You didn't see our rolls?
No, I didn't. But when I go to the chat log, I see it, but I don't see why it's not. I'm not seeing the chat on mine. I am going to restart my. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it,
Okay.
guys.
All right. Well,
So I got a 19.
I got a natural 28.
Nice.
Oh, okay. There you go. Bam. Okay.
That was in roll 20. He didn't
Hey.
roll it on his own.
Absolutely.
Yep,
So
see, I'm back.
with that, so Grin and Harganek, y'all are the only able to see this, but as he sets down, as the tiefling sets down this bag, you see almost like a tattoo come out, just showing underneath his sleeve, and it's a tattoo of like a diamond with swords plunging through water and then through that water into fire. If you have society or lore merchant, yes, you could roll either one of those to try and find out what that is as you head out.
Well, wouldn't you know that this guy's got some high society knowledge?
I got a society roll.
Yeah, I bet you do.
So society is replacing
21.
stuff like knowledge history, knowledge local, things like that.
Correct.
I got a 21.
Oh, that's great. You're able to determine that this that
And 11. I know nothing.
you would know that so Harganek would know that it has something to do with one of the guilds in this city. You just wouldn't know what. However,
Okay.
Grin identifies it correctly as he seems to belong to the Goods and Services Guild of Farings, which covers basically the organization / payment / all the administration of mercenaries, weaponsmiths, armors, liquor, pretty much anything that kind of has to do with hospitality, food service / services in terms of hiring people. And then that's about it. He bids you adieu. Unless there's any questions you would like to ask him before you leave. And if there's any magical items or any things that you'd want to buy before you head out, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, we will continue. But again, I highly doubt anyone wants going through the core rulebook just looking up stuff.
No, I'm good.
I mean,
Okay, except for Chris.
Potions, maybe? But we have a couple, I think.
Do we have
one.
potions?
I have one.
Yeah, I think one or two of y'all
how
should
much
have
did we
at
just
least.
get from him?
400 gold pieces now.
Ooh.
So 100,
Ooh.
100 each if y'all wanted to get anything. And yeah, I
That's
think
great, because
po-
in second edition they've made silver kind of the de facto regular currency.
Mm-hmm.
So gold's like way more precious.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, keep it do. And just everyone does have one hero point, which is essentially allows you to re-roll something. And it is a mechanic in Pathfinder Second Edition for this main reason that if you go unconscious, you can spend your hero points to just become immediately stabilized at 0 HP. You lose dying conditions essentially.
Don't worry about that. I'll totally stabilize you if you go unconscious. Spend your hero points on rerolls as much as you want.
I've got the medicine skill. It's actually very useful in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Unlike in real life.
And also with the hero points, I don't know if it's like actual thing, but I've just always used it this way. If you want to use your hero point to make me reroll something as well, you can do that.
Ooh.
Right.
Everyone just has one at the time being. So
I am going to pick up 2 potions.
okay,
Bark skin and invisibility.
okay,
For a total 15 and 20 each, so for a total of 35 gold.
okay. Excellent.
I'm not going to bother looking at equipment lists.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay,
I knew exactly where to go.
so y'all are gonna go essentially leaving the Faring's main city exit, which would be the western exit. Y'all are gonna go west through the Lush Sea, which is just essentially this. It's just lots of hills, very hilly plains essentially. And it's called the Lush Sea because when you look at it from the ocean or from the mountains, it just looks like this green ocean. And the tree, the actual plant themselves are all like 5 to 7 feet tall. So it's almost like you're treading water sometimes when you're going through the hills, with how full it is, how packed. Who's gonna be leading the party in terms of marching order, that kind of thing, as y'all are going through these forests and going into the Forsaken Woods?
Well,
I don't mind taking. Oh,
no, it's fine.
yeah, I don't mind taking point. I've got 8 survival, so I don't know if I'm watching the path.
Okay, so Utharis up front would be second.
I imagine I'm in the back. I've got a composite longbow at the ready, so
Okay.
I probably am looking to keep distance. The more the better.
I do have a 25-foot walking speed, so I am probably closer to the back.
Most of
How
us
much
have
do you
25.
weigh?
Me? That's a great question. I don't know that it says on here, but I'm about 3 feet tall.
Also, the standard in Pathfinder Second Edition, I think, is 25 feet. There's very
Oh.
few that have 30. So 25 is regular, yeah. And in
Oh, so you
small
move at a normal
ancestries
speed.
don't even have like too much of a penalty either.
Right. Elves are able to like pick a racial trait to be 30. That's one of their things.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So, then go ahead, Utharis, go ahead and roll me a survival check as you are passing through the,
Will do.
leading the party.
That's a 21.
Ooh, very nice. All right, so you're able to kind of go through the Lush Sea pretty easily. There's you kind of follow the trail, and when you get into the woods, you're able
The
to
Lush Sea.
correct.
It's like fields.
Yeah, it's just very high hills. Some of them, maybe like just a few feet tall. Some of them up to like 20 feet tall. It's just lots of rolling hills with very thick foliage. So you begin to enter these what used to be unassuming woods. It seems like a pretty typical forest if it weren't for this like enormous mountain range looming all around you as you're heading deeper in. The temperature kind of begins to cool a little bit, and you can hear the occasional animals, but obviously not as much as you would hear in a regular forest. As animals, the few animals that have survived here have either known to keep quiet and adapted as such, or fled the area entirely. As you're kind of pushing in, you're maybe about an hour walking in through the woods. What's everyone doing? Obviously, Utharis, you're leading the party. What's everyone else doing as far as is everyone just keeping an eye out? Is everyone looking for anything? Investigating, like in case you wanted to roll like a knowledge or a nature or anything like that.
Looking for a good tree to climb, just because it's fun.
Okay.
I think that probably everyone else has gotten very annoyed with Grin's constant prattling.
Okay, go ahead and
Yeah.
roll a perception check then.
All right. 26.
I mean, this is a playground full of enormous trees, and a lot of them, especially in this area, you can see with that you can see like as you get further in, a lot of the trees have more damage, but whereas you're still kind of getting into the introduction of the forest, it's still fairly alive.
Yeah, I might be like above the party by like 30 feet, like doing some scrambling up and jumping from tree branch to tree branch. Very like monkey like movements with this tail. It gives me some cool benefits to climbing. So I
Excellent.
think I'm doing some treetop surveillance.
Excellent. What about the rest of y'all?
As Kaj walks, they sort of touch some of the trees, get to know some of the plants along this path, and at times the sleeve of their robe kind of slips down, and their kind of claw touches the bark of the tree, and when they take it away, you see that the bark under where their hand was has kind of dried and gone like ash gray. Are there a lot of insects in the woods here?
There's a few. It's definitely not as lively as you would be accustomed to, but it's not
But
completely
some like
like
beetles and things.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sometimes as when Kaj gets close to the trees and touches them, if you looked closely, you could see like their tongue flick out, like catch one of the beetles, and then just quietly chomp on it.
And I think Harganak is towards the back. He's wearing his kind of travel leathers, studded leather. He's got a cloak. Probably has a hood up, but his ears are poking out through the sides, and they're twitching as he's listening and letting the wind hit them. He is looking for good spots for ambushes, whether to fight against them or to impromptu set one up of his own if he needed to. Like always looking to not be as close to as possible as a place to take cover, to get hidden, to get off the road as quickly as possible. He has a warfare lore skill, so I think it's second nature for him to always just be aware of the battleground and the best place for him to be on it if a impromptu battle were to start.
Right.
You know.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me a lore warfare. See what we got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. I rolled a natural 1.
Oh.
So that's an 8.
Okay. I mean, even with that, you're able to see. I mean, like, you would assume that the best place for an ambush would be because as you're getting in, you're getting closer to the mountains, so you're starting to see a little bit more. Like the trees tend to get a little bit thinner, but more importantly, you start to see like kind of larger boulders. So you would assume that probably behind boulders would be.
I think the natural 1 is probably his frustration that he's the one who's walking, so he's the one who's going to be into ambush, and it's a place full of boulders and trees. It's like there's no bad place to set up an ambush. It's all terrible.
So, Utherus, as you're leading the party, you don't really, you're kind of passing through. You don't really seem to notice anything too different. However, Grin, with your perception check, you see Utherus in front of you, and everything seems normal, but it kind of starts as like this uneasy feeling, like you just can't tell, like something is off, and you can't quite place what it is, and it takes you a second until you realize that you haven't kind of heard any animal sounds in a little while, and you feel wind on you, and you see like trees and plants flowing to the wind, but it's like they move, and then like 3 or 4 seconds later, like then you feel wind, like they don't seem to match up.
I think the tail curls around whatever branch I'm on and just sort of fall backwards and hanging upside down, look down at everybody and go, does anyone else notice that the wind around here is really weird?
And just as you say that, we're gonna go move over to roll 20. As all of a sudden, it seems like the reality around you. It's almost like it seemed like a facade, and it seems to drop away,
What?
and you are suddenly seemingly surrounded by these undead humans. I'm gonna need everyone to roll initiative. Grin, you'll probably be able to use athletics or acrobatics. Everyone else, I think, would be perception. Uthris, you could use survival if you wanted to, but perception probably gonna be most like.
Perception's probably better.
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
I'm gonna use acrobatics.
15.
I rolled a natural 20 again. I've got a 30.
Very nice.
I rolled a dirty 20.
I don't think I've only rolled 20s and 1s so far. Let's keep this going. This should be a fun night.
I rolled a 2, but I got a 16.
Nice.
Wow, very nice. All right, so let's see here. Chris, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know how to do the initiative.
I just moved us over.
Okay.
Oh. We should have
And
done
for
the hashtag,
initiative,
whatever.
I'll just start adding turns.
Okay, and then I'm just gonna do 2 separate sections. Let me go ahead and move all this stuff from the GM info to the main. All right, y'all should now be able to see
Oh,
stuff.
wow. There's a lot of this. Aren't there?
Quite a bit. And man, yeah, I'm gonna have to carry over that insanely high perception that you rolled, Grin. You notice that all of them have violet-colored clothes, like some bands and everything. And actually, with that high perception check, yeah, that's basically a critical success on that perception check that you rolled just moments ago. You can also tell that almost all of these undead humans have at least one noticeable injury, but which is pretty standard for any kind of undead being. But every single one of those injuries are bandaged or taped up or look like they've been mended to in some way. And then I guess I will need to roll initiative for these two. 1 second here. Oof. So Chris, I'm just gonna tell you, the regular size zombies go on 12. The
Okay.
other ones go on 5. The larger ones.
You want me to put them all in? Got it. 3 and 5. Okay. Scott,
you're
did you
doing
get a 30?
It did.
Dang.
Wow, that's
Damn.
crazy.
Natural 20 plus 10.
Fuck.
Very nice. Okay.
So we are surrounded by zombies.
I would hesitate to use the word zombie because zombies are typically mindless and just like moaning, and they kind of, they're almost like they're like very instinctual, right? These are making absolutely no sound, and they are standing there patiently. They're not moving at all. They're looking at you. They have not moved at all. But we are starting off with Harganek. Qu'est-ce que tu fais? What are you doing?
That's a great question. I believe I'm not interested in parlaying with undead fiends, and this is exactly what I'm supposed to be fighting against. So I'm going to be using my double shot feat, which allows me to fire twice at 2 different targets with only a -2 penalty instead of the usual cascading -0, 0 then -5.
Okay.
I also have a talent that allows me to use volley weapons without taking the penalty at short range. So
all right.
all in all, like I just
See why you rolled up your own character?
These are standard archer moves, man.
Yeah.
This is so. The first shot is a 26 against the closest zombie.
Okay, that would be the number 3 directly to your right, or I guess to your left. 26. That
Is
actually
that-
might be a crit already.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, that is a crit because
Wow.
it's 10 above. It's over 10 above their AC. So yeah, you
Oh,
absolutely crit that guy. Yeah.
So and because also comp longbows have the or most longbows have the deadly,
Nice.
Right.
which means that it goes from a D8 to a D10 when I crit, and so that'll be a 2D10 And it's because it's a propulsive weapon, I get to add my strength to that as well. So it's going to be 2d10 plus just 2d10 plus 3 because it doesn't double like in some other games that we may have played before. So the first shot does 18 damage.
Oh, yeah, that takes a big chunk out of it.
Okay. And the second shot's going to go to the larger one beyond it.
Okay.
Because that has to be the double shot requires me to fire 2 different targets.
Oh, okay, so that's how they kind of balance it.
That's one of the ways it balances out.
Oh.
Interesting, okay.
So I rolled a 13 on the second one.
That is a miss. It just goes
Okay.
wide. That essentially hits its body, but it doesn't seem to do much.
Okay, so that's been 2 actions. In my third action, I'm going to move. I'm going to take a stride, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to kind of get in amongst my people. And that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Next up, we got Cash.
Okay. Well. Kaj is very interested in learning what these things are.
Okay.
And is rather surprised to see them in the woods. So the first thing that they are going to do, is cast a spell.
Okay.
Shockingly. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. Kaj had been like touching trees and eating bugs, and kind of like doubles over a little bit and like spits up what you assume must be like the mashed up insect, like mashed up beetle carcass, carapace, and takes that in their hand, and it glows, and then it glows and turns into this like shimmering light that just sort of dissipates out into the atmosphere. And they are going to cast Vision of Weakness, which costs 1 action, and is going to target one of the zombies. So Kaj focuses their gaze on a zombie and will gain a flash of divine insight into its nature.
Okay.
So if the creature has any weaknesses, you learn them. If not, you learn an inherent understanding of its movements and gain a +1 circumstance bonus to your next attack roll before the end of your turn.
Okay, so you look at these undead humans and you see that they're weak to both positive energy and slashing energy, or slashing weapons.
Slashing energy.
Big slashing energy.
Yeah. And they are they're immune to like death effects, disease, mental paralysis, poison, and unconscious. As traditional undead.
So now that Kaj has cast this revelation spell, he is now under they are now under the effects of their minor curse, which is a sort of negative thing that comes with their mysterious divine power, which means that their life force is sapped somewhat and is more difficult for them to reinvigorate, which means that were Kaj to take a lot of damage, it would be more difficult to heal them. But this is just the minor curse, so right now it's not like super detrimental. And so then with my other 2 actions, I am going to cast another spell. I can do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I'm going to cast another spell, and I'm going to cast Disrupt Undead. I'm not next to the one that's close to me, right? I'm not adjacent to it?
It's well,
It
no,
looks
it's
like
like one
hex
block.
away.
Exactly. It's 10 feet away from me instead of 5, correct.
Okay, great. I'm going to cast Disrupt Undead, which is a ranged spell, so I'm going to use 2 actions to lance the target with positive energy.
Okay.
So, okay. This is a Fortitude save.
Got it. Okay. Let me go ahead and roll that real quick here.
Oh, so I guess the +1 that I got from the other spell didn't really do anything because this is not an attack roll. That's fine.
That's that'll last until the end of your next turn or start of next turn.
I think it's just for this turn.
Gotcha.
Like the idea is that you cast that first and then you make an attack.
Right.
But because I'm not next to it and I can't move and attack it with a spell, because that would be too many actions.
Right. Okay. So it rolled a 14 on its Fortitude save.
Okay, so that is a miss.
Okay.
So it is now going to take 1d6 plus 4 positive energy. That is not a critical fail, it's just a regular fail, so
Okay.
it will not be enfeebled for a round.
Okay.
Okay, this is complicated. Okay, so it takes 10 positive energy damage.
And you see that goes through, and it does like 50% more, essentially. Yeah, it does
Nice.
quite a bit more. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So after catch, it's a grin.
All right. Now I had the opportunity to roll acrobatics for my initiative, which
Correct.
was great.
Mhm.
So I dropped down from the tree doing a sick flip. It looks very cool. My vest flows outward, and I am considered to be in a state of panache. And I'm going to continue the momentum from my roll. And, I see that Cash is looking a little, maybe not as healthy as ever. So I'm going to take the tumble through action to go and move behind the zombie that they just attacked.
Okay.
I'm going to try. Thank you, roll 20.
So behind number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
If I can get I can't seem to select my own token for whatever reason.
Oh.
Not letting me move it.
Let's see.
So it should be able to be controlled by all players.
Yeah.
That's the setting it's on.
Somehow I cannot do it.
I think
But
I
that
can
is where
select
I'm.
your token. Do you want me to move it?
If you please.
I guess you're not a player.
You do a cool tumble thing. Wait, which hex do you want to end in?
Just one sort of adjacent to it, preferably behind.
Behind it?
Yes.
So like over here.
So
Yes.
like right
Okay.
there.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to kind of roll between its legs and come up on the other side. I believe I need to roll an acrobatics check. Is that correct?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 18.
And I believe that is
A hit. If 26 was a
Right.
crit, then it's definitely a hit.
well, it's this tumble through.
Mhm.
Oh,
I don't know what the
I'm sorry,
DC
I'm
is,
totally
but
not
what did you roll
listening.
again? I'm sorry.
18.
Oh yeah, that's gonna succeed. That's gonna...
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
because of the feat that I have, which is called Tumble Behind, it is flat-footed against my next attack.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So I am going to take out my rapier and do a perfect stop thrust, hopefully. We'll see how I roll.
And I think you get your rapier out as part of like a free action when you roll initiative. Right?
As initiative,
Okay.
yes, that's correct. Yeah, I
Ooh.
have that feat as well. So I pulled it out while I was tumbling through the air. It looked dope as heck. 23 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits. That is just barely not a crit, but that is a successful hit.
Okay. I probably needed to declare this thing before I rolled, huh? That's okay.
What is it?
My finish, sorry.
Oh,
There's
okay,
a lot
bit
of
to
things
finish.
that I
Okay,
can
got it.
do.
Yeah, I understand.
It wouldn't have altered the roll in any way.
Right. Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sure.
Cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a finish. So that means that I roll a bunch of stuff.
And what
I
does this
believe-
finish look like? What is
I
it?
kind of come up smiling from ear to ear and just say, it looks like someone's going to need to bandage those wounds for you again, huh? And
It looks at you like it understands what you said.
It deals 8 points of piercing damage.
Okay. 8 points.
I do believe. Oh, do I add my strength to the damage? Sorry. I don't know how weapons work in this game.
I think
Yes.
you do no matter
Okay.
what. Yes, no matter what you.
In that case, it would be 10 points of damage.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. That's enough to knock on to be below 0 with that one. So that one goes down, crumbles into a little
Excellent.
heap of bones.
And with my third action, I'm just going to look over my shoulder at this other one in the corner here, and just smiling and spattered in the dust of its companion. And I'm going to use my intimidating glare
Ooh.
to attempt to demoralize it with a simple gaze of my horrible goblin mouth, which is just an intimidation check, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no more size penalties in this game?
Not that I know of. And if there is,
Cool.
it's not canon right now.
That's a 31 to
Oh, geez,
intimidate.
Natural 20, yeah. That definitely works. Just by catching your glance, and seeing its crumbled bones, the crumbled bones of its friend, it looks at you as warily as an undead eye can look at you. It's very weird. Concerned almost. Okay. Uthris. Battle is raging all around you.
Yes, but I'm not mad. So
Okay.
he's very focused. His eyes are just narrowed to slits, and he reaches up behind him. And as he strides forward, he unsnaps his greatsword and pulls it out, and will stop right here in front of this zombie and swing. So he pulls his greatsword down and swings up, and then he'll probably bring it back down and swing again. So I'll start with the first swing.
Okay.
24 to hit.
That hits. Oh, and this is against the regular. That's actually a crit. AC
Nice.
14. Crit starts on 24.
Hell yeah!
So yeah, go ahead and roll that
Good.
sweet double damage.
2d12 plus 8. That's some Ursion damage over here.
Yeah.
18.
Okay, Shades of Ursian.
18
yeah.
points.
18, and that's a big chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he brings the sword back down again.
Okay.
-5.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
so it's
because
gonna be
it's not
plus 5.
finesse. Mhm.
It's a 9.
Okay.
9.
9 does not hit. Okay. So now it's the undead human's turn, and they all just suddenly move. They all just move closer to you. 1, 2. That one's not able to get close enough. Okay, and then this one's just going to stay there. So first, I'm going to have so number 3 is going to try and strike at Kaj. Let me go ahead, and I actually even have this here. I don't know why I didn't write that. There we go. 11, I'm assuming, does not hit Kaj at all.
Does not hit.
No. All right, so then number 5 is going to try and hit Hargonek. 10. Oh, looks like I'm rolling just like last night. All right, and then the other one's going to try and attack Uthris. 11. Wow. Okay, so 11, 10, 11. Not getting anything with these ones. And then after that, it will be the Brute's turns. These enormous ones kind of start lumbering over.
Is the one in front of me going to try and attack me?
Wait.
1, 2, 3.
This one's unconscious.
Oh.
No, this one's actually down completely.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot I killed it.
Oh, this one actually would have moved here. Because that one didn't actually see. Okay, I didn't see you there. You blend in. I'm red-green colorblind, and that's literally green on green. That's on me.
Oh no.
That's the whole point.
And
right?
another 11.
Mhm.
Okay, so it didn't matter.
Okay, cool.
But then these brutes will go ahead, and they will actually try to do something very similar, except so they're going to each try. So this first brute is going to try and actually, they're not even trying to attack you. They're going to try and grapple. One of them, the top left one is going to try and grapple Grin. The other one is going to try and grapple Kaj. So the first one will be.
Okay.
Here's hoping. So this is against your reflex DC, which is 10 plus your reflex save. So I think that fails on
Okay.
Hell
Grin.
no.
Yeah. And then let's see about this one on Cash. 16.
So that is exactly what it is. So I assume that that does work.
Correct.
16 is the number.
Right. So you're grabbed.
Okay.
There is no hug marker on these little symbols, so I'm just gonna do this little strongman thing. Strongman.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a good hug too. As this thing hugs Cash, trying to like feed off of the warmth coming out of Cash's body, it realizes that there is no warmth coming out of Cash's body.
That's correct. And actually, Utheris and Harganek, go ahead and roll me a perception check as we end this round.
29.
Ooh, nice. And 11 for Harganek. Okay, so Utheris, you actually see this, but one second here. You see from the southwest, you see a larger group, just like another group of people coming. However, you see that one of them is an orcish woman, as well as an elven male, both followed by two smaller undead humans, one wearing green, one wearing yellow, and then another large brute wearing yellow.
The hell? They look aggressive?
They do not. They look like they're running, just concerned, looking what's over. And with that perception check, you actually hear the elven man say, what if they can help Archmage Liana? They have a healer and another mate, and none of them are wearing the Pharynx colors. And that's all you hear so far.
Damn.
So now we go to the top of round 2. Harganek. You can kind of hear some, rumbling behind you, like 30 feet behind you, but you're too focused on, 5 different undead of varying sizes in front of you.
Parganak, you're muted.
Thank you. I'm going to start moving. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna move to here.
Okay.
No attacks of opportunity?
Correct.
Yes.
And I'm gonna fire my volley at these two again.
Okay.
Here and here.
You got it. Okay.
Okay. First attack is a 15.
15, AC 14, that does hit.
Okay. So that just does a regular 1d8 plus 3 damage. This is a magical attack too. My bow,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
it's this lacquered, recurved long bow, and it starts humming as the bowstring is moving and not stopping, and the arrows, which are a collection of like different fletching, as if he scavenged them from a battlefield as he goes, just starts flying, and streaks of black come from the back of a kind of trailing off the fletching as he fires. First one digs in for 7 damage.
That one destroys that one. That's number 3. Out of there. Unconscious.
Okay.
Also, gotcha. Okay.
Then he fires again at the larger one to that one's right, or to that one's left, to my right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about.
I got you.
You got me.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 13 though.
Does not hit again.
Just kind of embeds itself into its kind of fleshy, fatty rolls. I cursed to myself in Goblin, which is probably understood by some of you. And I'm done.
Okay, Kosh. So when you're grabbed, you can choose to try and escape, which would be, I believe, a reflex.
Do I need to try to escape? Because the one that was grappling me just died.
No, so the small one, they miss on the grapple, but the big one, this big brute.
The big one is grappling me.
Right, because he's got 10 foot
see.
reach, so he's able to reach over. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, that is totally fine. Does the grappled condition work the same way in 2E that it normally does?
Not precisely. You're flat-footed, and you can't take any movement actions, is essentially what that does. So it's a -2, and you can't move yet.
my movement is 0 and my AC is worse, but I can take other actions as normal.
Right. And if you try to like manipulate an object, it's like a 5% chance you or like a 25%
That's
chance you
fair. I don't need to do that. Cash is gonna sort of pull up the sleeve on one of his arms and then just reach back with his claw and touch the creature that is holding them.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast Chill Touch
Okay.
on this undead creature. So, okay, this is a saving throw.
Okay.
It is a Fortitude saving throw.
Fortitude saving throw. All right, let me roll that right now. 23.
So that beats my spell save DC. So
Okay.
I don't think anything happens.
Right.
Nothing happens.
Okay. All right. That's 2 actions to do that. Right.
Yes,
So you
that's
could-
2 actions.
So if you wanted, you could use your other action to try and escape. I think it's just your
Okay.
reflex save plus d20
I will do that.
against their athletics DC.
Okay, cool. So
It says
my
here
reflex
it should
is
be the acrobatics or athletics, not a
Oh,
reflex
sorry.
save.
Sorry,
Okay.
acrobatic. Yeah, my bad.
that's fine. It's probably the same. Oh, can I use athletics?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's going to be an 8.
Does not succeed.
No, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. 8 total.
My athletics
20.
is
Gotcha,
an 8.
okay.
I rolled a natural 20, so that's a 28.
You are no longer grappled.
Cool. Haha.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm still standing right next to this thing.
Right. And that's the end of your turn. Okay, Grin.
Oh, you got did you get a critical, Sylvia?
critical success. Yeah, success. Succeed.
Yes, I got a critical
Oh.
on my escape from the grapple, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure that does
You can
anything.
get free and remove. You're free and you remove the grab and immobilized restraint conditions, but you can also stride up to 5
5
feet.
feet,
if you
yep.
want.
Okay, yeah. So why don't I just move here?
Okay, perfect.
Cool.
And that is the end of your turn, right? Because that's 3 actions.
Indeed.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. Grin. You're up next.
All right. So this big lug just reached down to try and grab me. What I would love to do is kind of do a cool flip up onto his arm and kind of run up his arm and down his back and stab him as I do this.
Okay.
Would that count for a tumbling through action?
You're trying to like run up his arm and go around?
Yeah, I want to like run up his arm and kind of jump up his shoulder and stab him in the back.
Sure. Let's go ahead and roll in acrobatics. Let's see how well this succeeds.
Sure.
I got the DC in my head.
13.
I'm gonna
Probably
tell you right
not.
now, you did not hit that DC. So you're able to like jump on him, but like one of his arms is like kind of actually like so like weakly still on its arm that like essentially falls with you. Like parts of the arm that you're grabbing onto just like rip away and you fall onto the ground. You're not like prone, but you failed. You did not critically fail this check.
You jumped on a rotten branch.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, I believe since I successfully intimidated someone last turn,
Mm-hmm.
I have my panache
Correct,
back.
because that intimidation was success.
Yes. Okay.
You still have 2
So I think I kind of land sort of between the two of them.
Mhm.
I'm going to, again, try and stab out at the big guy here, just
Okay.
sort of normally.
Put you right there between them two.
28 to hit.
Oh yeah, and that's also a crit.
Yes, which
Nice.
means my rapier has the deadly property, which I believe means
There you
in
go.
addition to doubling the dice, I roll an extra d8. Is that right? I was reading these rules earlier.
I thought it changes your crit to that die. Like
Yeah.
instead of rolling a d6,
Oh.
it's
It goes up a die.
Cool,
The
cool, cool,
D6 weapon
cool.
gets a 2d8 crit damage.
All right. So, and because I have panache, I get some extra damage.
Yeah, you do.
15 points of damage.
Oh, very nice. 15. That does a pretty good chunk out of him. All right.
Uh,
And that's slashing, correct?
piercing,
Piercing.
I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
And then sort of for good measure, I think I'm going to pull up my buckler and sort of be like, yeah, all right, come on. Which one of you wants to go first, huh?
Excellent. So
And,
you raise your shield, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. So you get your shield to your AC for this round, and then Uthris, you've just heard this orcish woman say this, or this elven man to the orcish woman.
I'm going to spin around in their direction,
Mm-hmm.
and as I do, I'm going to attack this zombie with a tail swipe.
Oh, very nice. I like it.
Just for shits. 25.
Oh yeah, and that's a crit with your tail. All these good rolls.
Minimum damage 10 damage.
Okay, and that's but that one was already down to 4, so they are goners.
Right, so without even like thinking twice, he turns towards them and like brandishes his greatsword, his tail just decimating the creature behind him.
Right.
And I'm gonna take the stride action, 5, 10, 15. I'm gonna go like right here, 20, and turn to them, and I'm gonna brandish my sword, and I'm using a threatening approach on the orc woman.
Okay.
So I say, "Hey, stay back, or we'll destroy more of your minions." I'm gonna make an intimidate check to demoralize her.
Go for it.
And if this succeeds, 13. I don't know if that succeeds.
That does not succeed against this one.
All right. That's his turn.
Okay. And on that, she takes essentially her initiative right between that. She actually jumps up and she starts yelling at y'all. Wait, please stop. Don't hurt them. They're only reacting to you. They'll stop if you stop. And this elven man kind of jumps up on the top of this sort of broken tree and kind of trains his bow on y'all. But you see, like, as she kind of walks up to you and starts yelling at everyone, that all the other zombies or undead humans just stop moving. Like they stop, because whereas they were focused on each one of y'all that they were engaged with, as soon as they hear her voice, they don't like let you go in that regards. Like they're still looking focused on y'all, but now they're paying attention to her. You can all notice that.
Who are you? What are you doing out here? We didn't know that there were peoples.
And she just goes, "Well, we live here. You're in our area. What purpose do you have here?"
How do you survive with all the things out here?
They are how we survive. Put down your weapons and Liana can explain everything.
I look back, like ever so slightly, not look to the rest of you.
Hey, you the one has been patching up these corpses?
Not me specifically, but yes, the rest of us back at the village.
The village? When he like straightens up and puts the sword into the ground.
And she goes,
"What the hell is going on?"
I know you have questions, and I swear to you that everything will be explained, but you may be able to help us, and maybe we can help you leave here. If you leave here without our help, you won't remember anything, if you can even leave.
All right.
You sure we can't deal with like a couple more of these guys? I mean, they're pretty fun. You set them up, knock them down.
When you say that, the elven man kind of looks like almost like offended, and she goes, and she kind of like knows that that's like triggering for him, so she kind of like puts his hand up, like, don't say anything. So see, like, a lot of these people are our family. Like, again, I know it's confusing. I'll explain back at the village, but these are our family. And she goes and she kind of motions back at the two undead that followed them, and they begin to like move around and start picking up some of the bones of the zombies that y'all have had destroyed.
So this is how you treat your family. I'm not really crazy about being an honored guest, if you catch my meaning. But
if it makes you feel any better, they all consented to this. We all did.
Yeah, it makes your society seem totally normal and not suspicious at all. But I'm not if I don't have to kill anyone, I don't have to. I'd like to hear what you have to say. So he had an arrow at the ready, and he kind of tucks one of his random arrows back into the quiver and closes it up. What's your name?
My name is Lagak.
What's your rank amongst your people?
I am the eastern slash. I'm the scout leader for the Violet Party. We control the
scout
eastern
leader.
side of the village, and that's why you can see all these. And you notice all the zombies, all the undead that are on this side are all dressed in violet, and she's the only one also dressed in violet.
Yeah, I sort of flourishingly tuck my rapier away and say, "Yeah, I noticed the color coordination. I like it. It's very stylish."
It helps us keep everyone organized. So listen,
Good.
we're not gonna try to confiscate your weapons. I get it. That's a big ask.
Yeah, you better not.
All right.
We'll lead you to the village. Just keep them sheathed. As long as you're with us, no one will attack you. Please don't attack anyone or anything. Just hear out our leader.
Does she look undead?
No, not at all. Alive. Maybe a bit like thin for an orc. A little bit tired, but alive. Same with the elven man with her, but everything else is undead.
I whisper in crude, not particularly well accented lizard folk. When this gets ridiculous, get ready. Well, I think we should make a run for it, and then turn around and hole up. I don't want to get surrounded by these things.
So then, if everyone kind of begins to follow Lagak further essentially west, kind of deeper into the forest, you see that all the undead that weren't harmed just go back to their positions. Like essentially, since everyone was walking from it's on the map right or from north to south, they all just go to the south part of what would cover them up. So boulders, trees, and they just go back and stand in their positions without again uttering any single word or sound.
I move up next to the orc as we're walking, and I look at her and I say, "Yeah, I know all these questions are going to get answered by someone who's better qualified to do this, but I just got to say this is partially my fault. I see a stumbling corpse coming through the forest. I start shooting arrows. Sorry for the offense, the trespass, and whatnot. I just didn't know the rules of engagement, and we're really dealing with a situation so." Again, it's didn't mean to be unprofessional.
And she puts up a hand and she says, "No, under any circumstances, we would have tried to capture you in some form, but
then
if there were better circumstances,
capture us.
So instead of using your undead armies, you'll sweet talk us into walking into a trap."
No, we will
with some hesitation.
offer you a trade. Your help for our help. No one dies.
Well, except for the people already dead.
Right.
No. Oh, I was just gonna say, I think Grin probably sidles up next to Cash. So, this is some weird undead, right? I mean, I don't know a lot about this shit, but what's your take, Brainiac?
I can't imagine anyone being willing to become a zombie. It's an unlife without any of life's vitality is kind of my worst nightmare.
Yeah, so these people are full of shit, right?
I don't know.
So, Lagak and this elven man continue leading you deeper into the woods. You're brought to this moated village that the walls are essentially just they're angled outward with lots of makeshift spikes and things like that. Clearly, almost always expecting attack. You can see that some of these spikes still have fresh blood on them. Some of them are damaged, and you see, almost compared to the amount of human zombies human undead that you saw before, you see maybe 2 or 3 times as many here. Just walking around, some wearing green, some wearing red, some wearing violet as well, some wearing yellow. And then on the ground, you also see matching colored markings throughout the area, just maybe 10, 15 square foot areas on the ground. You see, sections of wooden buildings, and you see 2 large buildings of stone. The first is on the south, so to your left, and it's maybe 50, 60 feet long. It's the main doors would be like two large, like 15-foot doors, and it's completely closed off. And then in the center, you see this 3-story tower made of stone. It has a large plain door on the first floor, and it's got this thing that says, this plaque at the top says "Hell," but with periods in between each letter, and then below it says, "Hell is our home, so it will not be theirs." And to the side, you see like a ladder that goes up to the 3rd floor, where there's like a platform with 2 tieflings on it, one with a bow, just kind of, knocked but not pulled, kind of just keeping an eye on y'all, and another kind of palming an object in their hand. Chris, do you mind turning that down just a little bit?
Sure.
Thank you. And you see like the roof has like a series of metallic rods pointing upward. Go ahead and roll a perception check as you're being brought here.
21.
Ooh, natural one.
Ooh.
22.
Okay.
18.
Okay, so everyone except Grin, who is obviously distracted with all this.
The color coordination. It's very on fleek.
Mm-hmm. All of you see that on the first floor of the stone tower, each one of the stones have a name engraved in it. Some of them will have 2 names if they share the same last name, but every single stone seems to have names engraved on it. You're standing outside. Lagok kind of turns over to the elven man, whispers something, and he runs off in the opposite direction. And she goes, "Let me make sure that Leon is able to speak, and she'll receive you." She kind of goes up for a couple minutes, comes back down after like 2 or 3 minutes or so, and says, "Okay, she should be good. Just head upstairs, and she'll explain everything." So, as y'all go upstairs, so on the first floor, it's just kind of this, it looks like a general meeting room. Like the space is very open. There's like a small little, small sort of chair where someone could receive people, and you just see a bunch of seats on the ground, almost like a small town council area. And then when you get to 2nd floor, it actually just looks straight up like a bedroom. You see there's a small desk. There's stairs leading up to the 3rd floor. A couple personal areas, and then a bed where you see this elven woman with almond-shaped eyes, short black hair, laying kind of beginning to sit up on her bed. And when she sits up, you see that her 50% of her right side is just burned completely. Like it's bandaged up. The parts of the skin that you can see look like they're very severe burns. And when she attempts to sit up, she goes, "I know what you're thinking. It's a good thing I'm left-handed." Welcome to hell, everyone. And with that, we're going to go to break.
Oh.
So we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. And we'll find out a little bit more about this village that our adventurers have been brought into all of a sudden. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. So our group of adventurers have fought. I didn't want to say beaten. Some, to a neutral stance, has defeated some undead humans and followed this orcish woman to this tower where we see this elven woman welcoming them to this place that they call hell.
We found some weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this whole thing is just weird.
Yeah.
Hella weird.
That is the greatest compliment you can give, Homero. I like that. Thank you so much. So, Liana goes, I suppose you have some questions for me? But if you don't mind, could I get your purpose here?
Okay, first of all, what's your rank and status among these people?
Well, I'm sort of their leader.
This guy.
Oh, okay, good.
Can't you see, obviously, someone with this style, this sense of humor?
Listen, we don't make assumptions. All right.
She's slaying in bed, and they're all bowing to her. What do you
Yeah.
think is going
No,
on?
no
It's
one's
great.
bowing. No, and yeah, we do enjoy.
I bow ostentatiously.
She goes, no, please don't do that. We've had to have conversations to stop that. Please.
Okay. First
So
of all,
what? You're the Lord of Hell?
That's what they like to call me. But no, I'm a conjurer. And then from behind, you
Wait.
hear these like footsteps, and this kind of grayish tiefling comes up. This androgynous tiefling kind of goes up. She goes, "Ex-conjurer," and just like very annoyed, looks at Leilani. Is like, if you're gonna see strangers when you're infected and without my counsel, the least you could do is at least be honest with them. And she just and then just like leans back against the wall, arms crossed. And he goes, "That's Zagas, our healer here in the village, and the one that I'd argue keeps me the most in check."
Is it meaningful that she's an ex-con?
I don't think that means what you think it
Ex-conjurer.
means.
I'm sorry,
God.
forget about it.
I'm sorry.
I resisted the same urge.
Okay.
What's going on here? And I'll slam the table.
I suppose
right.
technically I'm a necromancer, but not the typical type. Look, long story short, I was part of an adventuring party that was meant to bring the majority of these humans to a collector down south.
Flavor?
Right, of some sorts. Ever since 8-4, people have been using humans either as slaves or just a high currency or commodity, or just displaying them like works of art. We didn't realize that's what it was for. We thought we were liberating them, but we found out about that halfway through. And anyways, we took this shortcut through here, and on the first day we encountered these enormous beasts. We lost 2 of our party members, our healer, our Hassan Joe, priest of Tuathal, and Elias of the Windfarers, or druid, and it was just me and the monk until a couple days later he died after he was infected from a disease. It's been a mess. They sacrificed themselves for the lives of these humans and for me. And ever since the humans kind of pledged us to work to help us to try and figure this out, we
How
can't
long have you
escape.
been here for?
Were the humans alive when this happened?
Right, yes. Everyone was. But again, we all agreed that we couldn't leave here. So we'll either die here or we can try and attempt to study this whatever energy is causing this area. When people leave, they don't remember anything. And looks it over at Harganak. I think we've been here for almost a year now.
Did you build these buildings or did you find them?
No, we've been building them. We've also built our undead friends here. We kind of she looks over at Zagas, the tiefling, and the tiefling just kind of nods and kind of goes downstairs. And Liana continues. Zagas is one of the humans who was a cleric essentially, and through our time with creating undead, their deity turned back on them, so now they're a practical healer. They're one of the few who've made an ultimate sacrifice for us.
I know. Deities can be so misunderstanding when they start working with people who bring things back from the dead. I apologize. It's a little weird. We can all agree, right?
You're right.
Wait,
She made the sacrifice.
But she was a human? And now with the horns and the...
No, well, she's always been a tiefling, but the majority of others are the other humans. We just contracted some people to help.
Let me explain this to you, Grin. When a mommy human and a demon love each other, sometimes they have a baby.
You think I don't know about that sort of stuff? I better know more about it than you do.
I don't know. You're about the size of a baby, so kind of hard.
Right. So, kind of moving on past that. So
Apologies.
we've done some testing. This is just one of the many. Ever since 8-4, there's been a series of areas or instances throughout the world that have just been seemingly consumed by evil. This is one of them. Some of them, I heard in my hometown up north, a fog came in and turned everyone into dust. The entire town, overnight. No one, just a random occurrence of evil and it just disappeared the next day. In other places, people were completely destroyed by fucking kitchen utensils. An entire village.
How
They
long
make
ago
no
was
sense.
8-4, Homero?
I'm sorry.
How long ago was 8-4?
Like 2 years or so.
Okay.
A few, yeah.
Yeah. And when we were trapped in here, we tried to escape. The people who went outside the boundaries of this area, they lose their memory almost entirely. Either that or time is completely warped. So
So you're saying if
Yeah,
we
we
learned
heard about
everything-
that.
If we learned everything we need to know and we walk out and have no memory of what we found, so we couldn't get paid. We
right.
can't finish our job.
However,
we break this.
we found that if you leave within 24 hours, you may only forget the last 24 to 48 hours or so. So,
All right, let's go.
yeah, we've got a short time. So,
No, let's leave. Well, what is there to do otherwise? Can we end this enchantment? If not, then let's survive.
that's
Also,
what
why don't we
everyone-
just like write down everything that we've learned and then take it out with us, and then we can read it later?
Right.
Like, he's
it
the
doesn't
smart
affect. Yeah. So,
Oh.
Why did you name this place Hell?
Everyone else called it that. It's after the initials of all the four adventurers: Hassan Joe, priest of Tuathal; Elias of the Windfarers; Lua the Enlightened; and me, Liana. Ooh. I didn't like it, but we
Funny.
needed some morbid sense of humor to keep morale up in some form. They chose it. Who am I to judge?
Style. See, I respect that.
So, and you can see that she's kind of like wincing with all this pain and this like pulsing wound on her side. She goes, "Listen, I was attacked by something. It was dark. I couldn't see. I was trying to investigate the borders of the area to see if we could find out anything. The point of us staying here, since we haven't been able to leave, is to at least study it. If we can figure out how to shut this down, what's causing it, maybe we can escape. Maybe we can shut down the other ones in the world. But until then, we're just trapped here. But because you have only been here for a short time, you could help us out, and we can help you leave. The thing that attacked me, it was some sort of large demon. It was probably 10, 12 feet tall. If you can find its body, perhaps it's got to be still alive. I didn't get a chance to hurt it. I was only able to teleport away. If you can find it and bring its body back, maybe we can get an antidote. But this wound is going to kill me in a couple of days. We just know it. Without any magical healers that we have available, it's not long before I'm down. And if I go away, these undead are going to be released."
Do you mind if I take a look at your wound?
Absolutely. And she just bends back over and like lifts up her tunic and exposes this like wound. And like this wound looks like it was kind of cut from like just like a metal weapon, but then it's got a bunch of like small little puncture wounds all around it, and that seems to be just growing with this like reddish like dark energy. So you can just roll a medicine check to try and find out
Yeah,
what that
that's
is.
what I was gonna say. Try to figure out what it is.
I can
Okay.
assist, right?
Yeah,
I've got
absolutely.
I've got a decent medicine.
Yeah, you could assist as well.
I have a
Okay.
+8, so I'll help you out.
Yeah, I also have +8.
All right. Well, your endeavor, and I fucked up, so I didn't critically fail that.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Twin natural ones.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
She fucked.
You're not able to tell
Wow.
what kind of disease this is. I mean, it looks infected. It looks like it's some sort of disease. That's about as what you can get from it. You can tell it's not a specific poison, but it's some sort of horrible disease
Okay.
that would require
At least we
magical.
know our medically trained companions can't like fuck up so badly that they hurt someone.
Yeah.
That's good.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Well, this is I think
Yeah,
I
we're
can
both like-
still do something about this. Let me just I think I have a thing for this. Okay. So, Homero,
Yes.
can I cast
Hmm.
delay affliction?
As a matter, yeah, definitely. It would not
So-
heal her, but that would at least like subside the pain and whatever effect she's feeling.
And it
Absolutely.
stops it from progressing
Correct.
for an hour, which
Mhm.
is presumably an appropriate amount of time for us to go and try to find this thing.
Right.
So, okay. So Kaj will sort of take the sleeve off of their claw and reach out and touch the
Faith.
wound, I guess. Touch her. Well, it's not. I guess it's a ranged spell. We'll kind of reach out and gesture toward her, and with a surge of healing energy, push back against an affliction threatening the target. Okay. So it says you attempt a counteract check against any one affliction you are aware the target has, suspending its effects for 1 hour on a success rather than removing it.
Okay.
So I make a counteract check. How do I do that?
That's a very good question. Does anyone know how to do a counteract check? I don't actually remember that in.
I assume I use my spell casting
Yeah, it's your spellcasting
modifier
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's just D20 plus your spellcasting, and it'll be
plus
against a DC
proficiency.
of Well,
Plus
it should be-
proficiency, right?
Right. So it'll be like essentially your spell attack roll would be
It's an
essentially
attack,
what it is. Exactly. Yeah.
essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I think that's a 10.
Right. So it should be plus
Yes.
10.
Okay.
I got the DC. Okay.
26. That should be good.
DC 23. So yeah, you're able to successfully. It kind of seeps into the wound, and it almost kind of turns it into like a muted grayish color, like almost like it's frozen in time essentially. And you see like color kind of begin like return to her skin for a second, and she just like, oh my god, that feels incredible. I could actually probably walk for the first time in a day.
Oh, that's great.
I bought you some time, but it will only last for an hour.
Oh, that doesn't give us much time to draw up the contract. As Harganak starts pulling out a piece of paper and he's like, starts marking it up. He's like, so can you spell your name for me? I want to make sure I get this is all official.
She just kind of pushes past you and just stands up and just walks to the window. Just like,
do you say that's okay that if you're giving me discretion to figure it out phonetically?
Liana.
Okay, good. Okay. This won't take long. This is pretty simple.
While Harganak is doing this, Kaj, after casting that spell, looks like visibly weakened and is kind of like hunched over and dragging their feet a little bit. So we'll go outside, and I assume there are like trees or shrubs or something somewhere in the village.
And, shrubs.
It's grass. We'll sit down in the grass, kind of cross-legged with their robes splayed out, and just put their claws onto the grass and meditate for just a couple minutes.
Okay.
And you see the color just drain out of the grass, and the individual blades just turn to ash as Kaz sucks up the life energy of these plants into their own body. I just turned
perfectly normal in this town.
I just turned the moderate curse back into a minor curse.
Oh,
excellent.
Probably smart.
Right.
I'm gonna sort of leaning in the doorway, watching our hobgoblin do some paperwork and the oracle do something. I'm gonna sort of turn over to Utheris, just like, so fighting the demon sounds pretty cool, I have to say.
As long as we can remember it when we leave.
Yeah.
I'm getting it in the contract. Some of the information. Also, guys, good news. Since this is a subcontract that doesn't disagree with our original contract, so it's still legal. He says with like a certain amount of glee as he finishes up. Okay, good.
Does it mean we get paid twice?
Absolutely. That's the other thing I wanted to go into. We have to agree upon terms.
The terms are you get to leave. We don't have money. We have no need for it. I don't know what you'd want. You can't take any of our friends. You get to,
So
we'll try to have you leave with your memories.
All right, I'll put in a clause for that.
But don't put my name in that. The city of Fourings might recognize it, and we can't have them knowing.
They can't have no. What are you talking about? This is gotta be on a level.
That city is nothing but that their entire economy is based on nothing but war. If they discover that we're the ones stopping monsters coming out from here, they're just gonna try and destroy us so monsters keep coming out.
Okay, well, I'll just then...
Don't put anything
No.
of this information in that contract, just that we'll let you leave. Or whatever you need. And she just kind of pushes off, and then Zagas, the tiefling, comes back upstairs, and she's like, "You're not going out with them. I'll go with them, but you're absolutely not going out, not even in this state."
All right.
And she just kind of motions her to sit down, and she goes, "I'll take you to where she saw the demon that she wasn't supposed to be investigating."
I think Hargonak rolls up his, like, no longer valid contract with some annoyance and says, like, well, this would change the terms if we had terms, but I guess we're doing things like chaos because we don't have any respect for civilization in these parts. All right, we'll try it your way.
All right.
He says, and he tucks it away.
I mean, you could use the back of that and like write down some stuff that happened. I mean, if we do forget.
I'm just rolling it up. He rolls it up carefully and like tucks it away.
All right.
Meticulously.
You see a Hargonak, roll up like a regular piece of paper, the same way Nucine will roll up a scroll with just this utmost deference. So Zagas kind of begins to lead y'all to outside the village, unless there's anything that y'all like to do before you leave. If there's any questions you have or anything you'd like to do before.
I mean, what's there to do in hell?
Exactly. So she begins to lead you.
Hargonak is super annoyed though. He's like visibly like almost like, you know, pouty about it.
She begins to lead you, and as night begins to fall, she leads you to kind of this area where you're kind of getting close to the mountains now. You're feeling the temperature drop now that it's getting closer to night, as like the sun is now setting, and she kind of stops at a certain point. She goes, "It's past there. I'm not much of a fighter, but I'll stay back here. If you need anything, I can call the Green Division to come join us, but." She was probably within the next quarter of a mile here.
Great news. All right, I look over at the group. We can all handle the dark. This is where I'm kind of most comfortable. I tend to do my best work. I assume. I know that at this point, do lizard folk have dark vision? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
I think they have low light. I'd have to double check the character sheets. It'll be.
I don't remember seeing it on my
under perception.
Oh.
It'll say senses, and it'll.
It's
Nope.
blank.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing.
Nope. Not for lizard folk.
Okay, well,
Not good.
we don't have much time, and since we're going contractless, I guess we can just do, treat. I'm over it. I'm better
So,
than
what
that.
is the
Okay.
marching order as y'all begin to continue to investigate?
I might take point on this just because of the dark vision.
Okay.
Is it dark already? It's getting dark. Is it getting dark, or is it like dark?
It's getting dark. Like it's
Okay.
just like it's beginning to definitely get dark.
How cold is it?
Not like cold enough to wear like a sweater, but not like freezing cold.
But like, what if your body doesn't produce any heat?
It's like they different.
How much grass do I need to kill to keep myself warm?
I think maybe on the walk over, I'm just sort of like backpacking on you so that my body heat is like,
Just don't touch my skin.
no.
Right.
Only the ropes.
I assume that the fact that I am vulnerable to cold doesn't matter.
No,
'cause that would be
not to
cold
this extent.
damage,
Correct.
not the cold temperature. Okay.
Mhm. And it would be like if we were like in the mountains in the snow or something. So that should be okay.
If no one has any
sluggish.
objections, I might go back up into the trees for just to keep an eye out on things. Just kind of stay above everybody else, but like basically following directly overhead.
There
Go
goes
for
my
it.
fire backpack.
As we're walking, is it how do you say the name? It's Haggis, Daggis,
Zagas?
Zaggis.
Mhm.
TH
Or SZ.
like
Like,
SZ.
almost
okay.
almost like Kaj actually. Zaga.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like sometimes I'm just like I don't understand
No.
these consonant sounds. They don't make sense to me. All right. So I look over at Zaggis. So you're like a trained priest, even though your gods abandoned you for working with evil necromancy. Not evil. Sorry, don't judge.
You see them tense up a little bit when you mention God's abandoned you.
Okay, it's fine. You're probably based on the discussion of what kind of demon that was fought. Can you identify it in any shape or form? Namely, what hurts it, what doesn't hurt it, likes, dislikes, turn-ons, turn-offs.
Based on what little information Liana was able to get, I'm assuming that fire doesn't hurt it too much.
Okay.
She tried to throw some fire at it, but it did nothing. And if it's a demon, it's probably evil. So, I guess it's just like me in your eyes.
I'm not judging. Like I said, a lot of people think hobgoblins. That's ridiculous. We're just efficient.
I'm just thinking about how you're going to be stuck in middle management for the rest of your life.
You talking to Zagus or me?
You.
What? Listen, I've got big plans. It's just a matter of you got to keep your eye on the details.
So everyone go ahead and roll a perception. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
What was that?
I don't mind being interrupted.
Roll a perception check.
As
y'all are talking and walking, y'all are.
It's like combat schmombat. I gotta get to the bottom of this.
20 for me.
Okay.
23.
Okay.
I got a 10.
Ooh. Okay.
I got a 19.
Okay. Let's see. So, everyone except Kosh is able to see this. So you're kind of passing through trees, like kind of the clumps, and then almost like these trees seem to have lacking a lot more foliage and leaves. They're a lot more skim, and you can tell that some sort of battles have gone on here at some point. And you see about 40, 50 feet ahead of you, right behind some other patch of trees, are these like red, almost like balls of skin, all like crowding around some sort of carcass. Chris, if you can go ahead and bring us to the next encounter.
I did.
Scene.
Ah, crap! It's the Langoliers.
They can eat time. Watch out.
Sorry, that's the only thing I can think of looking at these stuff.
I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. Okay. So yeah, you'll see these four things just kind of eating looks like wolf carcasses. What do y'all do? They don't seem to have noticed you.
What are they?
You can roll. You could try religion or perhaps arcana. I would say I would allow religion or arcana.
I can roll a religion.
Okay.
2 on the die for a 10.
You're not able to really tell specifically what they are, but you can tell that they are some sort of demonic entities based on the way that they're like their skin is almost like leathery, but it's like flowing slowly.
Demon skin.
I think that they're demonic entities based on the way that their skin, which is almost leathery, is kind of flowing slowly.
Well, I mean, my suggestion would be we climb up in these trees and get a little bit of a drop on them, but I don't know if that style works for everybody.
This can't possibly be the powerful demon thing that attacked.
Maybe they all
woman.
tie their tails together and do a Voltron thing. I don't know.
My guess is that they're some kind of minion, but perhaps they could lead us to that creature.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea.
And sorry, Homero, Voltron is now canon to your...
Like, what is that? Some sort of goblin shit?
Yeah, it's an old goblin story. About a bunch of goblins in a trench coat.
Oh, of course.
So these things are they don't seem to notice you so far.
No, they're always in a suit of armor, the myth goes.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of Lion King.
So I'm going to pull, look back, and I'm going to pull one of my javelins out and just, kind of heft it and, get ready. Try and, get some aim through the trees.
Okay.
I was going to say, can we, sneak up to the far side of this stand that's, blocking us from them?
Sure.
Kind of
yeah.
Scooby gang it over?
Roll a stealth.
Yeah, I'm good with that, too.
Okay.
I like that idea. I don't know.
And y'all should be able to move your own the pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
After I roll, I'll tell you how.
Ooh, sorry.
Yeah, let me roll stealth first.
Sorry.
See how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how that.
Okay, so apparently I can only roll 2s.
Oh, no.
I rolled a
I got
it.
14.
2.
I got an
Okay.
18.
Okay.
So how far do we go before they hear us? About this far?
I'd say
Or maybe this far?
I'd say because they didn't roll great on their perception, but you're hitting their passive. So like, yeah, I'd say you at least make it to, like halfway to the trees. So you can be like, I'm just gonna
Like here?
exactly, yep, about there, and that's when they notice you, and they move into attack. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. Grin, are you?
Well, we just did.
That's right. That wasn't it. Yeah, perception. That is initiative.
Well, can you add a 2 to mine then? Because
Oh, yeah, you'd add 4 to mine as well.
Alright, so I'm a 21 now.
Okay, 21 for Hargonok.
That was our perception?
Yeah,
Correct.
perception.
Perception is usually the
So I'm a
initiative.
10.
Correct.
27.
27 for Grin. Where was mine? 20 for Mish.
18 for these fellas. For all of them.
Ooh.
Fancy.
All right. So we're starting off with Grin at the top of the round. Yeah, so they all look up and look towards you. 2 of them are still focused, like they see you and they immediately go back down and now like start quickly eating these corpses, while the other 2 are just looking at you and gonna start moving towards you essentially. So what do you do?
Okay. I think what I would like to do is get up to this tree, maybe, and climb it.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and give me athletics.
Sure, I get an
DC's
extra
super
bonus
low.
to this because I can climb using my tail.
Right.
So I actually only need to have one hand to climb.
Right. And since you roll initiative, your rapier's in your other hand. Okay.
That's correct. So I rolled a
Cool.
26 to climb up this tree real good.
Perfect. Yeah. So you flawlessly. I'd say because you critically succeed that you can also take like an extra, like 5-foot step in a direction while you're in the trees, like another 5 feet of movement. if you want.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of like lean out, holding my rapier, and kind of be like, "Hey, over here, ugly mugs," and just try and kind of like be a distraction, and hope that they will come for the loud, shiny-mouthed goblin. I don't know if I could roll anything to try and distract them. I'm happy to roll intimidation if you want, like brandishing my sword and beating my
Yeah,
chest.
if you want, if you're trying to go for intimidation, go ahead and roll intimidation.
Hell yeah. I want to convince them that I'm the biggest, baddest thing
Deception,
around.
create a diversion.
Yeah, that works.
Deception would be great. If you're trying to, like, yeah.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, either one
just-
works for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to focus on me to give my friends an advantage.
Gotcha.
Deception. 15, not great.
And that is against their perception or their.
I believe it's perception,
Okay.
usually.
Their perception DC,
Against-
which is
Their perception DC, yep.
which is 16 actually, so that does not succeed.
Dang it.
Just barely. They definitely notice you, but they don't seem to act in any other way yet. 'Cause they haven't acted. Is that the end of your turn? Do you have? I think you have one more action.
I assumed I needed to use more than one move action because I moved over and then started climbing.
Climb, and then yeah. Okay, you're right. Okay,
Yeah.
so Harganek.
Harganek is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So he's going to move to about this position with his dash action. And he's going to fire one arrow at the lead mouth.
Okay.
I rolled a 23 to hit.
23. That does hit.
Okay.
The way you
Right.
said that, Homero.
That does indeed hit. So I do 10 damage, magic piercing on, I'd say Scorpion 2 would probably be the.
This'll that'll make sense later. I promise.
I'm not worried. And then I'm gonna keep moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I kind of Harganek kind of moves around the trees, sees his target, draws, fires, and then kind of keeps going.
Okay. Excellent. Uthris.
Uthras has his javelin out, so he's going to try and get some clear view, 5, 10, 15, 20, stride. Actually, I'm going to go 25.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You could just do another move
25.
action.
I could go 30, but I'm going to throw my javelin like straight at the scorpion.
Okay.
Number 2.
All right, let's see
Just
what
like
we got.
get right up, so there's no chance I'm gonna miss. Although that's not really how it works. 17.
That barely hits. Yeah, that does
Yeah.
hit.
That's because he's got poor eyesight and needs to get up front, close to aim properly. 8 points of damage. Ugh, piercing.
Very nice. Yeah, and that yeah, it like lodges in it, and like it slowly, like its skin kind of warps around it and then it like almost like deposits it out as it falls through its skin almost.
Nice. I'm gonna stride and pull out my greatsword in the same action, and use my last action to just slam it down on
Okay.
top of it. 11 natural 1.
Ooh, no, that is a complete miss. This thing is. I mean, it's like it's medium sized, but it's like it just wildly moves around because it's like,
Not a crit fail though.
right. Okay. Excellent. So now they will go. So, this one that you attacked, it actually suddenly turns. Let me double check here. Yes, it turns into a scorpion. It suddenly like its form turns into this like medium-sized scorpion, and it does one attack to try and grab you with its pincer.
That explains the rolling flesh. Or roiling? Moving.
Either would be appropriate.
Flowing, I think, was the word.
22.
22 hits.
Okay, so that's going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage,
Ah, nothing.
and oh wow, very nice.
I spoke too soon.
Oh, you didn't rage, right?
I did not. I have not raged yet.
Correct. Okay, and then it's gonna get another attack with its stinger now,
Sting me, baby.
and that's gonna be a 19.
19 hits exactly.
Ooh, okay. So then you take 2 points of piercing damage as it punctures you,
Uh-oh.
and then 4 points of poison damage.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, that's the end of its turn, and then this one actually remains in its lizard number 2 remains in its regular form actually, and it flies up to grin because all these have fly
I can
movement.
fly?
Yep. While they're in their head form, they can fly, and it's gonna just do a single, well, actually 2 jaw attacks. Its first one is just gonna try and bite you. That's a 19.
Miss.
Ooh,
I
okay.
nimbly
the
dodge out of
fuck?
the way. My armor class is stupid high.
Wow, no kidding. Okay. Oh, and there's a natural 2 on the second attack, so that one misses. These. And
What was the total out of curiosity?
Oh, sorry. Oh, good call. That is. Oh
You
no.
never know.
That's a 7.
That is a critical failure.
That is a critical failure. Okay.
What?
My armor class is 21
Wow.
Wow.
without
Wow.
my shield.
Jeez. Okay. Okay. So it completely misses. Is there a mechanic? As last as I saw, you just
Yes,
missed, right?
I can riposte.
Oh, that's right. You
Haha.
can specifically, right? Okay. okay.
Yes. I need
So-
to remember how to do this.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you can go ahead and do that
1
against
second.
lizard number 2.
Yes. Yeah, I can use my reaction to make an opportune riposte. And I'm going to take a strike action since I don't think disarming this thing would really work. Since
Unless
it's
you can
just
take off its
a
arm.
Head. It seems like it's just sort of a flying mouth.
Basically, yeah.
Oh no!
a
I
small
rolled a
tail.
natual 1.
Wow. So it gets
that
a
is a
riposte.
12.
Okay. That does not hit. That is not a critical fail, but it just does not hit. So these other ones, number 1, the scorpion 1 and lizard 1, they both use all 3 actions devouring their respective animal carcasses that they've been consuming.
They're like dogs.
And yeah, basically. And then we go to Kaj.
Great. Cool. With my first action, I am going to cast Shield. Because I don't want to be hit. So this costs 1 action and lasts until the start of my next turn. And then with my other 2 actions, I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Ooh.
So I reach my claw out, and it appears next to Lizard 2,
Okay.
kind of right in front of me. And
Chris, do
it
you have a
looks...
symbol for that little thing, like a token for that?
I can pull something. What's the weapon?
That'd be great. It's a black hole.
Ooh, very cool.
It looks like a tiny black hole. Is it just like sucks the light and life of everything around it into its inky blackness? Oh, perfect.
Wow.
Nice. Wow. They're straight up black hole token. Very nice.
From the
Great.
web.
Oh, okay.
And then as part of the 2 actions that it takes to cast the spell, it makes 1 strike against Lizard 2.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a strike.
Uh, 25.
Ooh, just 1 away from a critical hit. That is a regular hit.
I'll take the regular hit.
Wow.
Okay, so this does damage. It does a D8 plus 4 force damage. So I will roll that.
Yeah.
I assume force damage is good, like it is in other editions.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. 8 force damage.
And that knocks it out. It drops 20 feet to the ground.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
Does it? Does spiritual weapon have to attack from the same direction you're facing, like it does in other editions?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's only, I think, 5e?
And in Pathfinder.
Really?
1e. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never rolled that. Good to know. Totally haven't had someone with spiritual weapon in my campaign for 3 years. All right.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Okay, so at the end of this round, behind Kaj, unfortunately, as this placement turns out,
Oh no.
this beast leaps over. Let me move it to
Look,
the
this
token
is why
line.
I cast shield.
Ha ha.
And this large
I'm an oracle. I saw it coming.
jumps from this area over in here and is like it still has like the reach to be able to reach Grin with holding this like large black glaive.
Whoa.
And as a
Nope.
and as it comes in, it actually uses a reaction. And does anyone speak Infernal?
Nah.
I
No.
Great.
doubt
No.
it.
Not me.
No. Okay.
No.
You just hear it go, and then that demon that fell suddenly rises back up.
What the
Well,
fuck?
That's unfortunate.
It doesn't it doesn't have like an action or anything, but it just comes unconscious again, or becomes conscious again. Round 2, Grin. This large, 15-foot tall, 10-foot tall, 10 15 tall, like a demon. This demon with this enormously like wriggly beard and this large
Alright.
glaive.
Oh my god.
So it's like coming head up to sort of where
It's
I am
basically
in the
between
tree.
you and Kaz, sort of. Yeah, like it has the reach to be able to reach either one of y'all.
Great. I think what I'm gonna do at that point is kind of. I'm gonna leap forward from the tree and kind of like try and like flip over it, maybe like slide down its back a little bit to get behind it.
You should be careful, Grim.
Hey,
also, Chris, I need you to
careful
put
is
the,
not what I do.
I need you to put this demon up right above Lizard 2, like right between Uthris and Lizard. Sorry, I didn't give you the initiative roll for that.
I'm attempting to tumble through its space on my way to the ground, if that's
in
cool.
between. Okay.
Yeah, 19. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can tumble through. What is the what you roll? Or even roll?
Ooh, badly. I think I might use my hero point to re-roll that.
Up to you.
Smart. Smart.
Okay.
Why not?
Now you're thinking with hero points.
I'm trying.
Ooh,
24.
Definitely, you're good. Yeah.
Great.
Um,
Then, with great panache, I slide down behind it, and I'm going to pull my rapier up and try and stab it in the butt.
Okay. See
Or
if you hit
whatever.
its butt's AC. It's got a butt.
Whatever relevant painful part of its anatomy is closest to me. Let's put it that way.
It's a big red butt.
27 to hit.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Cool.
Regular hit.
Cool. All right. I really gotta make a point of talking about my damage. Now, my question is about precision damage
Right.
and how that 100% works. That's just with my finishes, yes?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2d6, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, that's only with your finisher.
Cool.
Because I think
Which
the
I need
point
to
of
remember
that is to like do a regular
say,
attack, finish, end your panache, something to start your panache, and then you kind of
Yeah.
this whole flow.
All right. Well, let's. Sorry, I need to roll damage, huh?
Yep, go for
It's
it.
like I've never played this class before.
Not in this game.
6 plus 4. 8 points of magical piercing damage.
Magical piercing. Okay. Got it.
And then I think the thing I'm gonna do is bring up my buckler and kind of stand at the ready.
Okay. Does that mean you're actually like readying,
Or
lifting up
should
your
I?
shield, or you...
Maybe I should just run away again because it did use a reaction just then. Yeah, actually, you know what I think I'm gonna do is maybe like duck back into these trees a little way and try and get some cover.
Okay. Yeah, that would definitely give you partial cover at
Yeah.
the very least. Okay. Harganak.
All right, I'm gonna fire my 2 shots again. Once at this bearded devil.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll 21.
Just misses
Okay.
on that one,
No.
just barely.
The second shot is going back towards the lizard 2 creature hiding
Okay.
in the woods.
He's gonna get a +2 AC because of minor cover or part of cover.
God, I rolled a natural 1 and that's an 11.
Ooh, yeah, completely miss as well.
Okay. So I've wasted arrows and everyone's.
I mean, you could also, move closer.
Yeah, good. Oh, thanks. Good point. I'm going to this bow's got wicked good range. I'm gonna back even further out. Actually, can I take a little cover with behind some trees?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, do you
so-
want to like use like the hide?
No,
Action?
I'm not gonna hide.
Okay.
I just want to like put some shrubbery between me and.
Yeah, I think you've got sure between you and everyone. You've got like almost total concealment from the small fellas, and then partial from the big guy.
Hey, some people call it cowardice. Some people call it moving towards middle management. But this is where I'm going to be sitting.
Hey, you made your decision. You're gonna face those consequences. Utherus.
For the rest of
Romero,
your
I
life.
have one quick question.
the
sound
I'm
of
so
that.
sorry.
No, don't apologize.
That 27 to hit was against his flat-footed AC, just FYI. So I don't know if that would have made it a crit.
No, not yet.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to double check. I feel like we need all the help we can
No,
possibly get.
absolutely. Understandable.
So this bearded devil just jumped out from thin air.
It jumped out of the trees.
Well,
That's
I've got
phenomenal stealth. Like,
a scorpion who's too really busy stinging me at my feet. So, I am gonna swing at it. No, rage.
There
So
you go.
my frill is gonna like flip up, just as like his eyes are like almost like the slits become like completely not like just almost invisible to see. And he just like brings the great sword straight down.
boy, here comes one of those crazy barbarian hits.
So I get temporary hit points.
+2 to attack.
I,
+2 to
I,
damage.
I deal 2 additional damage with
-1
melee
AC.
weapons. I get -1 to AC, and I can't concentrate. Okay, just
Right.
double checking.
Mhm.
14.
That does not hit.
Damn! What the fuck? Well, shit! I'm gonna swing at it
Also,
again.
wait, shouldn't that be 16? Did you start off at 10 and then +2 from rage? I mean, it won't actually. Like, right? Am I right?
I don't think rage adds to attack. I think it just adds to
I'm
damage.
Pretty sure it adds to attack as well. I may be wrong, but I could have sworn it was. If not, then I'm wrong. That's the one thing I do want to make sure you get that if you do.
+2 attack and damage, but I don't know where that's coming from on the sheet. Is that my instinct?
Not entirely sure. But if that's a 16, that 16 hits.
Nice.
16 is
okay,
its
yeah.
AC, so
yes,
that's
it is +2
regular.
to attack and damage.
Okay, cool.
Although... Anyway, alright, I'll take it for now. 16! Rah!
Barely hits, and you can go ahead and roll for damage.
For 12 points
12.
of damage.
That takes basically half health. Yeah, that takes a big chunk out of Scorpion number. Actually, oh no, Scorpion number 2 is completely down. Actually,
Because I had already...
yeah. He was at 4 HP. That's completely down. I think that's even con modifier. Like that's permanent.
Good.
Ooh.
At this point, I will turn around and move back, because these things are small fries. 5, 10, 15, 20... Ooh, 25, 30. Let's move up into this thing's grill
Okay.
and take a shot
Okay.
with the sword. -5, but +2, so I'll be rolling a 7.
Okay.
Yes. 13.
Does not hit against this big guy. Not even close. That's almost a crit fail, actually.
Poisonous demon.
And it just it looks at you and almost smiles as if like to acknowledge like okay you literally like left its other like minions essentially to come directly to it and it almost like respectfully looks at you. So it will respectfully attack you as well.
Okay.
It's gonna try and hit you first with its enormous glaive. Oh no. That's a 33. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a crit on you.
Oh,
Damn.
That was a
yeah,
natural 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is.
Okay, let me go ahead and roll this. It's gonna be 12 points of slashing damage.
Okay, 7 of those were temporary hit points.
Okay. And then 3 points of evil damage.
Evil damage.
That's right.
Evil.
I'm sorry. That just makes me laugh.
So
And
silly.
then I need you to roll. I believe it's gonna be a Fortitude save. Let me double check real quick.
Whoa. Poison.
No, that does not require. So you're gonna take 1d6 persistent bleed damage. 5
Whoa,
bleed damage at the the start of your turn.
I'll take 5 bleed damage
5 at the
at
start.
the start of my turn every turn.
Not 5, but 1d6. So we'll roll it at the
Okay.
beginning of every turn. And every turn you have the ability to just roll the flat check.
Okay, so I'll
DC
take that at the
15
start of my turn.
Correct. I'm just letting you know. And then, so it does one thing with the glaive, and then, like, as it hits you within that wound, it eyes the wound specifically, and its beard wriggles suddenly, and it goes to lash out and strikes at that wound again.
All the little puncture marks.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
I
That's
mean,
gonna
obviously
be-
that 33, by the way, was a crit. I don't know if you...
Oh,
you know.
it would only crit the first die. Give me 1 second. I'll give you that.
Okay.
That's an additional 4 points of damage.
Fucking goddamn
And then you take so this next one, man. All right, you went up to it.
it. I did.
11
points.
points of an piercing damage with its beard, and I need you to make a very important Fortitude save,
Okay.
or maybe just regular important.
24.
DC 23. Good on you, sir. Good on you, sir. You almost had the same thing Liana had. Okay, that is the. It still has one more action,
Action? This freaking barbed butt.
and this one, and it's going to use its glaive to kind of come down on Cash next to.
Ooh.
Because it does have 10-foot reach with it.
Yeah, I figured.
But it takes a -5 to this one, so it's going to be 21 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay,
It
but that's
doesn't
not a crit.
crit.
Okay.
Just a regular hit.
So
For
it's
regular damage.
10 points of wait, sorry, wrong die. That's the same number. Okay, so that's going to be 11 points of slashing damage,
Ouch.
and then 8 points of evil damage,
Ooh.
and then you're going to take 1 point of persistent damage on your turn. But that's the end of its turn.
Okay.
That is all it can do at this time being. Now
Broke
the
now.
the other ones go. So two's down. Lizard 1 kind of comes up to Utheris and takes a single bite attack. He's gonna try and take 2 actually. 20 does not hit, I think.
20 does hit. My
just
AC is at
barely.
18 right now.
Okay. 7 points of piercing damage. 2 evil damage and another fortitude save.
Fucked. 30.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Oof, you fortuitous lucky person. All right.
Uh-huh.
And then it's gonna take an action to move here. Yeah, because it was already next to you. Okay. This lizard one and scorpion one, you now see them. Their skin is now, after they consumed it, they seem to take a moment, meta in action, and now their skin is like glowing, almost a brightish red. So I'm gonna give them a little symbol here. Okay, and one moves over here and uses an action to change into a scorpion as well in front of you. And this one is going to take it's 2 actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's going to use everything to come in right in front of Hargonak, but it doesn't have another action to be able to do anything.
Damn.
That's the end of the enemy's turn. Kaj.
Great. So I'm gonna take a step to get away from this thing
Okay.
because I do not want to be in melee with it. Oops. And then
As you leave, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As you leave, it uses its reaction, and it says
Wait.
something else. Oh, wait, something?
Okay. Sorry.
It's not an attack of it's not necessarily
Okay.
a regular attack of opportunity. It's more that it says something in Infernal, and it grabs its glaive and actually just chunks it at you. So it's sort of an attack of opportunity, but it's gonna lose its glaive after it throws it at you. So
But I thought that if you step, it doesn't trigger reactions.
correct, but this is a reaction specific to this fella.
Oh.
Yeah, it wouldn't
okay.
be like regular attack of opportunity mechanics. It's not an actual attack of opportunity. It's a specific reaction it has
Okay.
that I gave it. But it already took an attack, so it still takes a penalty.
-5.
19.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay,
Mm.
and it's just gonna do a regular damage with this, and it's not gonna add strength to this. Oops, that is a D20 for damage, which is not right. So you take 6 points of damage with it, and that's it.
Okay.
And then and its glaive just like punctures it kind of like slices through your side and punctures the area like right behind you essentially. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So, I'm gonna spend 1 action to have my spiritual weapon move to Lizard 2 right here.
Okay.
And it's going to make an attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Having trouble with roll 20 right now. Oh, there we go. That is a crit.
Crit. Okay. Go ahead and roll double damage with that spiritual weapon.
Cool.
Yes.
man.
Hell yeah.
Get it. Get
Okay,
it.
so that's gonna be 2d8. Does the modifier get double 2? No.
I believe it does. I'm not 100% sure,
Does?
but I think it does.
That's what I
Okay.
was doing.
Yeah, the modifier does get double.
Cool.
That's Pathfinder. That's specific. Yeah.
Does it?
Oh, that is an absolutely horrible
Ooh.
roll for 11 force damage.
Okay. And that was lizard number 2. Okay.
Yeah. How is lizard number 2 looking?
Not great. Looking pretty low.
Okay. So I can use another action to have it make another attack, this one at the penalty for doing a second attack.
Okay. Yeah, -5. You can go for it.
So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Oh no, that was a 7. That wasn't going to hit
No.
anyway.
And that's
so,
not a
okay.
that's not a crit fail, luckily, but no, that's a miss.
Great. Okay, that's my turn.
Okay. Top of the round, 3 Grin.
Oh man, it's probably not worth it to scoop up this glaive and run as far away as possible with it so it can't keep attacking us, is it? Probably
Its
not.
glaive is gone. But it's still got these claws and its beard, so it's up to you.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't know, it can probably summon it back or some stupid shit like that. Then my other question is, does sneaking up to something grant you any benefit other than catching it flat-footed?
Mechanically, no, not really.
Okay, cool. So it's already flanked, so there would be no reason for me to do that. So I'm just going to kind of come over here a little bit. I don't know if this space is adjacent to it or not.
Yeah, that works. It's just a little wonky because
Cool.
it's hexes. Yeah.
Yeah. And because I'm flanking it with Uthris, I am going to do my best here to try and pull off a finish against it.
Okay.
I'm going to try and use my unbalancing finish.
Oh, okay.
If I can hit, we will find out. This is going to be against its touch AC. Well, it's or flat-footed. Sorry.
Got it.
I've-
Okay.
Yeah. 28
Ooh,
to
close
hit.
to a crit, but yeah, that definitely hits.
Its flat-footed AC is 18.
Its flat-footed AC is 20.
Jesus. Okay.
Wow.
However, this is still my finish. So
Okay, right. You get all your damage at 2d6 plus
Yes.
plus weapon damage. Yeah.
10 points of damage.
And that's
Not
magical
great.
damage, right?
It is, and the creature is considered flat-footed until the end of my next turn.
Oh
Uh-huh.
wow. Okay.
To everyone?
Nice.
For
everyone, yeah.
everyone.
Okay.
That is what a
very
confident
nice.
finish does. And I am going to
That's so
I need it.
kind of look up at it and say, "Yeah, that didn't feel so good, did it, buddy?" And I'm going to try and demoralize it.
Do it.
That's my third action. Why not? I'm small and full of braggadocious rage. No, that was a 13.
Yeah, it does not succeed. Okay.
Oh,
That is
well.
the end of Grin's turn. Excellent. Harganak, you are up, and then Uthris up next.
I'm gonna take a step back. There's one action. I'm gonna do my double volley again. I'm gonna fire one at the bearded devilish creature
Okay.
in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 29.
One away from a crit. That
I
definitely
know,
hits.
which
Yeah.
is I'm thinking like if I hadn't done, but anyway, I gotta kill this thing near me as well. So I do magical piercing damage
Okay.
of 1d8 plus 2. 9 damage.
Okay.
The
Got it.
second attack is at the creature right in my grill. And that is going to be a 18.
That definitely hits. Uh huh.
Okay,
Regular
and that does another 1d8 plus 2 magical piercing. I do 4 damage to this thing, to lizard 1.
Okay, -6. Okay, got it.
So this thing clambers towards me. I take a step back calmly and fire kind of an arcing arrow out of the darkness so he doesn't forget about me. But then as the creature scuttles towards me, I fire one at point blank range into its mouth.
Got it. Okay. Excellent. Uthris.
So I take 5 points of bleed damage.
Correct.
I'm not feeling good at all.
Roll a d20, just a flat d20. If you hit 15 or higher, you automatically cure the bleed damage.
12.
Okay, no, you'll take it next turn as well then. And someone can use battle medicine or a single action to try and lower that DC.
Right.
I can cast heal, so I can help you on my next turn.
Okay.
I just couldn't do it this turn because I had to get out of its way.
No worries. I bring my sword up. I'm super fucking pissed. So I'm gonna do
Show me your pissed.
a swipe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm gonna make a single melee strike. It takes 2 actions, and I'm gonna compare it to the scorpion one up top and the barbed devil.
Okay.
See if these hits. Swiping 30 to hit.
Ooh, you hit both,
So
and
that's
you
a-
crit both.
And it's
You crit both. Yeah, that's
Nice.
exactly a crit on
I
both.
only roll damage once, so that's perfect.
barbarian.
Oh my god, yeah, that is incredible. Oh, you guys needed that. That's
What am I doing?
Yeah.
How much
Plus-
damage are you gonna do? That's crazy.
12.
12 total.
31 points of
31.
damage!
Oh my god. Is this magical damage as well?
No, I don't think the greatsword's magic.
Okay.
I just have versatile, so
that's
I'm doing
still
slashing.
31 is a lot. Yeah, 30. Okay.
Right. So his frill's up. He's looking not great, but he's how's the scorpion?
Oh no, that scorpion's gone.
Okay,
It had
so
fast healing 5, and it's gone.
Great. So my third strike, I'm just gonna my third action, I'm gonna swing at the barbed devil once more. 17, unfortunately, is not a hit.
No, that's not it. I'm actually gonna get rid of these guys. I don't like them on the screen.
Hell
Not
yeah.
there. Okay. Okay. Excellent. Great job, Utherus. Okay.
This feels so
Can I
great.
use my reaction?
Absolutely.
So when I see the scorpion die, reading this from the spell description, seeing it pass from this world to the next invigorates me.
Ooh.
So I'm going to cast Death's Call to gain temporary hit points equal to the creature's level plus my spellcasting ability modifier. So what is the creature's level?
That's 2.
So I'm going to give myself 6 temporary hit points.
Very nice.
And that will set off my moderate curse, which is bad for me, but great for you guys.
Can you read that? Because it's actually like my favorite thing about, I think,
Yes.
your Oracle.
Okay, yeah, the moderate curse is really cool. Okay. So, the flow of life energy away from me can't be reversed. In addition to the effects of my minor curse, which is just making it harder for me to heal, I can't be healed by effects originating from other creatures, though I'm affected normally by elixirs, potions, other items. I'm not sure what that means with, like, my heal spells. Like, can I heal myself?
Right, you can still heal yourself. You just can't be healed by anyone else.
Okay. Yeah, so I can only heal myself.
Right.
If I'm unconscious, then I can be healed to be restored to 1 hit point, but that's it. When I cast heal, and my target would be healed by the effect, so if I cast on one of you, I roll d12s instead of d8s, which is awesome.
Nice.
And then whenever I finish the cast a spell activity for a spell of first level or higher, I restore hit points equal to the spell level to either a target of the spell, if it's like blast or something like that, or to the creature nearest to me, my choice. I can never use it to restore hit points to myself, but that means that if I cast like an attack spell, but I'm close to one of my allies, I can use it to heal my ally.
It's crazy.
So if I cast a spell, so I could heal Utherus because technically he's closest to me.
Okay, nice.
Excellent.
But also I'm just gonna cast heal on you, and then you're gonna heal D12, so it'll be great.
Right.
As
As long as this devil doesn't take me out.
Who's the one who just went?
We hope.
Was it Kaj?
That was
Utherus, okay.
I was just using my reaction.
Yeah, so the devil's going to go ahead and take swipes against Grin. Oh, one against Grin, but the other 2 against Utherus.
Bring it on!
Ooh, Grin, 19?
Miss.
No, that does not. Okay.
Okay, good.
I do a like cool flip roll, sort of dodge out of the way.
Just barely dodges you, but now it's like you can tell it looks a little bit scared.
It should.
And against Utherus, that is a 2 plus 10, so that misses. So it's gonna try with its beard one last time, try and hit you. Ooh, that's a natural 16 for like a 31 to hit.
That's a crit.
Is that a crit? Okay.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
This is
Oh,
it. The
no.
bearded devil.
14 points of piercing damage. And a fortitude save if you're still up.
I am.
Okay. Give me that fortitude save. Can't roll 20s all day.
19.
Okay, you fail, but you don't feel different yet.
Okay, I'll probably die from bleed damage next turn, so it doesn't matter.
And then the
That's the spirit.
Told you, none of us are getting out alive.
and this lizard is going to take 2 swipes against Utherus as well.
I can't be flanked, FYI.
Okay.
Again, not with
So
this guy.
so you don't take that penalty. Okay, got it.
I'll deny that advantage.
Does a 19 hit?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh man.
Here we go.
2 points
Oh,
piercing
so
damage. I rolled a
close.
natural 1. And then its last
Tiptoeing to
attack,
death's door.
that is a natural 19.
Okay.
Or plus 4. Okay.
It's not a crit.
Okay. Almost max damage, so it's going to be 8 points of damage, piercing damage.
I'm down.
So you are dying 1, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Once you get to dying 4, you permanently die. And since you're going to take damage next round, you're going to get knocked down 2. Or 1.
Oh shit, 'cause I'm
Automatically.
bleeding.
'Cause you're still bleeding.
Whoa.
But however...
I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, exactly. This lizard is going to come up here in front of Harganak. It automatically heals a little bit.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Let's wait on what
My turn also moves. I'm now before Lizard 2.
You're right, correct. You're now right before Lizard 2.
Oh.
That way you get a full round to be able to interact that.
Mm.
And then, yep, so I'm just going to take it's going to take 2 attacks against you. That's a 17 and even lower. So I think they both miss.
They both miss.
Okay. That's the end of that. Okay. Cash. Sorry.
Great. So Kaj reaches out their claw towards Utherus and is going to spend 2 actions to cast Heal at range. So this is going to heal 1d12 plus 8 hit points.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow, very nice. Okay.
Actually, is it possible for me to cast this at 2nd level?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can, right?
Yeah.
And so that'll be
2d12, right?
So it'll be 2d12 plus 16
Dang.
Wow.
because they both increase. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is worth it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Does that heal my bleed?
I don't know.
Don't know. That I was looking at that and I don't know, Chris. To be honest with you, I have no idea. I was
Interesting.
trying to find that.
Okay. Let me Google it real quick.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, so it's
Wow.
30 hit points.
What the fuck?
Wow.
I
Yeah.
had to wait until I had my moderate curse
Yeah,
for it to be really good.
that's insane.
Okay. And then Homero, I think I'm also bleeding, so I also need to take bleed
Right,
damage.
let me roll a d6 real quick. That's 1. So you just roll 1, but go ahead and roll a d20 to see if you
Yeah.
the flat d20.
Okay.
And if you roll 15 or higher, it automatically heals.
No, I got a 9.
Okay, it persists.
Okay, that's fine. And then I still have 1 action.
Right.
So I am going to command my spiritual weapon to attack Lizard 2.
Very nice.
Hell yeah.
Do it. Very low health. Oh,
23 to
definitely
hit.
a hit. Mm-hmm.
Great.
If you roll high, you could
That
take it out.
8 damage, force damage.
It's exactly at 8.
Yeah.
That guy's out of there. Just gonna delete it because that guy didn't have fast healing.
We're bleeding for a minute or until we make that DC 15 flat check.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay.
Period.
Sounds
End of
good.
story. That's what hero points are for.
Right.
Mm.
Exactly. Okay. Liza chuckles nervously. Okay, Grin, top of round 4. Finish it. Come on.
Cool.
You got this. You got this. Do this
All
finisher.
right.
You.
Well, I gotta get some panache
That's
back.
right. That's right.
In order to do that.
Grin's got to get his groove back.
That's right. And how is Grin gonna get his groove back? I need to do something daring and exciting. And I think what I am going to do is my best move that works well for me. And I'm basically in trying to distract this thing from my friend over here. I'm going to sort of weave between its legs, maybe flick it on the tail a little bit, and just kind of run through its space and maybe end up kind of more, a little bit more towards Cash, like run through its space and end up over here if I can.
Okay.
And attempt to tumble through dramatically.
Absolutely.
25.
Yep. That definitely hits. Or that's 4 more than you
Yeah.
needed. You good.
Yeah, and it was already flat-footed, so that doesn't really matter.
Right. Oh my god. Yeah.
I am going to go ahead and try to do which one of these do I want to do? I think I'm going to try my confident finish, since I have seen it look a little shaken by my earlier action.
Okay. See what you got, Grin.
14
Uh,
misses,
That does miss.
I believe.
Mhm.
However, because it is a confident finish, it still does half damage on a miss.
Oh, very nice.
Fuck.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
That's why I did that one. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I missed.
Playtest classes. All right. Let's
Uh,
see what we got.
Yeah. So
That's gonna get nerfed.
I have to generate the panache to
Yeah, I'm
do
gonna
it.
I'm gonna
Right,
fill out the thing tomorrow. I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, Swashbuckler's a bit too much. I don't know. Here's video proof.
Okay, yeah. So I
Oh,
rolled
that
5.
math is weird.
Yeah, it's half of 2d6, so 2, I guess.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So it does 2 damage. Okay, it is down to 5 HP.
And I'm going to use my third action to just take my dagger and just try and stab it
Okay.
with my offhand.
This will be at a -4.
Yes, because it is a dagger and an agile weapon.
Nailed it.
We'll see how this goes.
And it's still
It is
flat-footed until
still
the end of right.
flat-footed.
Okay, so AC 20.
Yeah. No, I rolled
Oh, and
a
that's
9.
a crit fail on you.
Damn
But
it.
it doesn't have it.
That's okay.
Okay, shit.
That's all right. It was worth it.
Okay,
Do
Harganek.
it for the vine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take another step back away from this fellow. I'm gonna fire over it at the demon again.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do a regular attack.
Just
It's
a regular
plus
attack.
12.
Okay. Ooh,
27.
27 hits for sure.
Yes.
Okay. See what you got.
Okay,
If you roll a
that
natural 1, it could still be alive.
I roll 6 damage.
6 brings it to dying. It had 5 HP. 6 knocks it out. Unconscious.
Okay. I don't know what the big problem was, guys. It didn't seem that bad to me. I'm gonna roll my second attack at a -5 instead of the because
Mhm.
as one does. At the creature in front of me, I roll an 18.
That hits for sure.
Okay, and I do 1d8 plus 2 again. Do 6 damage to that fellow.
And that absolutely hits. And it almost like as the resonant energy of this devil, as it goes unconscious, this demon also just dissipates. It's almost like it's not say dissipates, it like pops away.
Got it.
And we are out of initiative.
Yay!
Uthris barely surviving. What's up?
It's unconscious,
Right,
right?
it's unconscious, so y'all can
So you-
decide if you want to do a coup de grace or
Should we just
bring it back.
destroy it?
I mean, they want proof that it's dead, right?
I don't mean destroy its body. I mean destroy its soul.
Oh, can
Nope.
you do that?
Well, I could instantly kill it.
Pun intended.
And they said they
Hell
mostly needed the
yeah.
body. They didn't really care if there was alive or death, so it's up to you.
They needed the poison to make the antidote. Uthris is kind of getting up. He's at wounded 1 now, so he's just like. But he looks over at Kaj and is just like.
Harganek spends several rounds approaching with an arrow, like drawing an arrow at the ready in case it moves, and he, kind of joins the party. Looking no worse for wear, to be honest.
So yeah, what do y'all decide to do with this devil as you return back?
Can we kill it? Because don't the bodies just disappear or something?
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna take empty out my water skin and just grab some of the beard snakes and just sort of start pulling and see if I
just you can even do that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll let's do survival, or you could do even maybe like a
nature.
No, this thing is not nature.
There's nothing natural.
No, you're gonna have to use maybe religion, but I would say you could just do straight dex if you wanted to.
Yes, that would be preferable.
Okay.
Can I use survival to aid?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay.
More than one person aid.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Well, because I'm just kind of holding myself no, you can't milk it that way.
There's more than one way to milk a snake.
So gross.
Do we have to roll for AIDS? I forget. Roll for AIDS. That sounds like a South Park joke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you have the skill check or attack roll of a type decided by the GM. Yeah, and then the typical DC is 20, but it might adjust it. I might adjust. So go ahead and just roll and I'll let you know if you succeed or not.
I'll roll to aid real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
I aid.
Just barely. Yeah. You're able to succeed, so you get a +1.
Okay. Natural 20 for a 25.
You feel like every bit of a disease-ridden substance that you can get out of its beard has been successfully into your emptied-out water skin.
Okay, I grant you your method of snake milking is fairly efficient.
You grow up in the marshes. You need to eat things that aren't full of poison.
Can we make this thing dead forever, please?
When they're done milking it, Kaj goes up to it and just touches it with their claw and make a will save.
Absolutely. There's a natural 6 plus 11, so that's 17.
It instantly dies
Ooh.
as I cast Death Knell on it.
Okay. And yeah, its body actually stays there, but it does it just seepens in the bright reddish skin just kind of turns into a muted blackish, like a darker brown. So yeah, y'all are able to successfully. What's that?
We could call some of those zombie drag this thing back. I've had enough heavy lifting for one day, and my tail kind of pulls the rapier and sheathes it.
Yeah, and y'all are able to. Sorry?
Uthris and I have this, and I slap him on his, kind of
wound shoulder,
affectionately, but maybe I was busy. I didn't really see how badly he got hurt.
You see all these little holes, and just a little bit of blood starts coming out. I mean, technically we should still be.
Yeah, you have enough HP, but if you want to roll some d20s. So y'all are able to. Yeah,
I'm okay.
Okay.
Can I get a medicine check in there too? I've got battle as a feat.
Battle medicine. Yeah, if you want, you can roll that as you're going back.
Yeah, as I come in, I give you that slap on the. I notice how instantly go into medic mode. I forget what's the DC on that.
I think DC 15. To even be able to lower his check from 15 to 10.
Okay, well I'll give it a shot. I've got a +8 to medicine, so it's worth a go. I rolled a 22.
Okay, yeah, you're able to successfully lower his DC. So if he rolls a flat check and then still fails, great, still bleeding out.
All
right, there we go. After 15 seconds.
1d6, that wouldn't have killed me.
Right. So you're able to bring back, to kind of drag the body into the point where they kind of some zombies wearing green outfits and clothes that are kind of begin to pull the zombie and build this pull the demon into town. As y'all return back in town with Zagas, they take the demon body into that larger stone building that was located south. And you're brought back to Liana. And she's like, "Were you able to get the beard? Or great, great." And then she sends the orcish woman to go get the healers again. So basically, they'll take that from you and start working on the antidote. Hopefully, and she'll go, "Well, this is where we'll have to part ways, as you'll have to leave soon. There's a way to be able to leave here. We can take you out through the way you came, but when you pass the threshold, you'll need to strengthen your mind to be able to make it past. So we've got this tonic that can help increase that, but there's no guarantee. At the worst, though, with this tonic, you should only lose about the last day's worth of information. So as long as one of you can succeed in that, you should be okay."
I start writing down. So,
In
the
return,
thing is,
as she sees you writing, "Please don't reveal this of this to anyone. Make up whatever you need to make, but if people find out that we've got humans here and that we're living here, blocking all the monsters from leaving as we study this, they'll either come try to harvest the humans, or they'll just kill us all."
Yeah, I mean, there was this guild guy who wanted to know what was going on out here, but he said it wasn't with the city, but I have a feeling, it might have not have been exactly true. Not that I care.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure. No, I know for a fact that the second any of these any of these business owners who own the armors or the weaponsmiths or anything, as soon as they can find a way to start the attacks again, I know for a fact that they will, and that would entail killing us essentially.
listen, if it's not us, it'll be someone else at some point. You should probably start thinking about not being here in like the kind of permanent situation.
Right, that would be nice. If we could leave, we definitely would. So we'll take that into consideration.
Why can't you leave? We're about to leave.
Y'all have only been here for a short time. The longer you're in here, the longer you're trapped.
Oh, so that seems like you've got a really good exit. Fair enough. Whatever you say. Like I said, it's not no skin off my.
It's
whatever.
what we have. It's what we can work with. It's
Well,
the few
besides,
choices we can make.
I'm sure there is a story we can tell them that will be worth their while to hear.
And I mean, unless you have any other questions, they will begin to lead you out to the forest from the same direction you came. I'm assuming everyone will take one of their tonics, and if so, then I would just need you to roll a will save as you leave to see
I
how
also
much
want
you
to
remember.
rip off one of the violet tunics.
Okay, it's like
Off
the
of
whole
one of the
thing, or
zombies.
just part of one.
Just kind of pull it off over its head.
Okay.
And just take it with me.
Okay.
Evidence. He's feeling woozy from the blood loss.
Sure. I guess we can make some more of that. Okay.
Will saves? Do we get
Right.
any bonus because of this tonic?
No, the tonic actually simply escalates whatever you get. So if you critically fail, you fail. Succeed, critically succeed, fail, succeed.
Natural 1. I'm going to use my hero point.
Okay, good.
19.
Okay, the DC was 20 for a regular success. However, Chris, Sylviana and Chris technically critically succeed. So you only lose about the last hour or so. Maybe last 30 minutes to an hour. Lyzeke bumps up to succeed as well as because you mean and so both Grin and Hagnarak, you both lose about the last 3 hours or so. The last thing you remember was seeing this village, and that's about where it gets hazy. You remember everything else, but now you're suddenly walking in the woods in the opposite direction you came from with your fellow friends.
Okay.
Yo, have I been drinking? I get the feeling maybe one of their buildings and there was like hell or something.
Yeah, this place has some kind of magic. That's why my plan was to write stuff down. Let's see if I was
We were
following my own
just
advice.
in the village.
No, we were
We
just
were-
coming to the village.
No.
We were
Check it
just
out.
in the village, and we were gonna go after this demon thing.
I start reading up, like I start looking at the accounts. We did go to the village, according to the words.
Yeah.
But we met up with an elf and a tiefling healer, and I give the account of
Mhm.
in broad strokes, including the killing shot fired by our Hargonak. If we had made some kind of contract, this would have been worth a bonus, but considering we didn't, we get nothing for it. And I go on and on with some more minutia. So it turns out we did something. We have some information.
So-
we did our job.
As I'm listening to this, I go to take a swig out of my water flask and then
Yeah, it's empty, but yeah, you can. It smells horrendous. It just smells like pestilence almost. It's just this gross disease-ridden smell. Yeah.
gonna put that back.
So herein lies the last thing we'll do, and it's probably the most impactful one for my own brew. What do you decide to tell your hiring party what you found?
I think we should just
What's
tell them we
fate?
found a demon.
I agree. We found a demon in the woods, a devil, I believe, according to the notes, and we defeated it.
And
I don't
then we
know.
were trying to get out, and we don't really remember what happened. I mean, we have your wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
We
Um,
also have the conundrum of a contract made in good faith and paid for. I don't have any loyalty to people who don't decide not to make contracts with me. But I understand that the party is probably of the opinion that we should go another direction. And I'm not evil, and I don't want people to get slaughtered. I'm having a bit of a conundrum, an alignment conundrum.
We are telling the
Thank
truth. They wanted to know what evil things we found there, and well, that was the bad thing we found there.
Listen, I've got lost my memory. The only musings I have are this piece of paper. So if I, for instance, don't have this piece of paper, then I got nothing to talk about. I've got actual no memory, and this piece of paper could be the musing of a madman. It's not good enough evidence, in my opinion. So in the letter of the law, I have no. So I'm okay with it.
There was, yeah, I mean, it seemed like maybe there was some influence from hell,
Yes.
devils and all that.
Yeah, magic. I could say that we fought something terrible, but our memories are shady at best. We have the evidence. I wrote down that you kept some of the venom in that water skin. I'm sure we could use that for trace amounts. I mean, I doubt we used it all. And also, we've got wounds. Do we still have that halberd?
Oh yeah, did we
glaive?
take the glaive?
y'all didn't mention it. Is that something y'all want to do? That's
Oh, yeah.
I carry a glaive.
okay.
I didn't go into my character description, but it's my backup weapon, so I would probably, be happy to wield it. It's in my.
It's large, though, probably.
Mhm.
Or
It is
maybe
large.
that's not a thing in second edition.
It is.
I don't know.
It is, but it's large.
Well,
And
then but I think I would drag it.
Okay.
I think it's a good trophy, and I think
Right.
I'm of a people who enjoy trophies.
Okay.
And
So
signs of valor.
y'all decide to. So you tell them that there's a devil, and you show them wounds. You show them that. So go ahead and roll. Someone can roll diplomacy, or y'all can roll to 80.
I would be happy to roll diplomacy.
Or actually, well,
I'm happy. I'm happy
because you're not
happy.
lying. So yeah, I'm gonna say it's diplomacy. You're not. You're omitting. So yeah, you can do.
I can assist you if you would like.
And you're gonna get a bonus
Yeah.
because add +3 because you're showing. You mentioned the flask and the wounds.
26 to assist.
Excellent. Okay, so +3 on top
And
of
then-
my normal bonus.
And then because she critically succeeded, also add +2, so total +5 to whatever your normal bonus is. That may be
awesome.
bananas.
So it's +15 now. So
Oh wow, okay. That's almost as good as my spellcraft, hasn't seen.
27.
27. He seems convinced. He's like, well, We'll have to figure out what my employers and I can do with this, but I suppose that's good enough for now. He hands over the remaining gold, which is total. I think he gave you 400, so he gets another 1,200 gold pieces.
Whoa.
Nice.
Ooh.
And he says, "We thank you for your
Damn.
time. You have this inn for the night, but the last thing we need is more foreigners coming around spreading rumors. So after tomorrow, it would be really nice if you could never show up here again. We'll take care of this information."
Understood.
Fuck.
We appreciate your hospitality.
Classic Fairings hospitality.
Oh, you know it.
All right.
And with that, we conclude our adventure of this evening. Thank you so much for indulging me. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Oh, no indulgence.
Thank you for running.
Us.
No
Yeah, thank
problem.
Yeah. It's going to be so hard to go back to different kinds of actions instead of just different numbers of them.
Right. So yeah, thank you, everyone. That is the end of this adventure. We will be back next week with a fairly important battle that we're leading up to. We're missing Pooja, unfortunately. I will be controlling the Magus. Yes, I am dreading next week just as much as as anyone else. I believe who all will be at PAX this weekend? Is it
All
this
of?
weekend?
All four of
Everyone,
us.
All
everyone,
four
yeah.
of us.
Everyone will be at PAX this weekend. We're in Philly. Enjoy. Say hi to them. Some of them will be running games. Chris will be running just greeting people.
None of us are
being the
running
face.
games.
No one. Okay. Oh, so everyone's just gonna be chilling. All right.
But Manapot is running two events in
That's
which
what it
we're
was, 2 events.
hosting game designers that are based in and around New York City. So they will be running their games. Definitely come by. We're right next to Games on Demand. So there's going to be a lot of good games in that section. And at least just say hi. We're in room 117 if you're in the Philly Convention Center this weekend.
And that's pretty much it for us. Thank you for joining us. I will be back on Sunday with Mana Mornings. We'll see what happens there. I may just talk about how I felt this went. Just kind of like behind the scenes stuff, show my
Yeah.
notes and that kind of stuff. And up until next week, we've this Saturday we've got Starfinder, and Sunday we've got Hole in the World again. No. Everything is break
They're
this
on
Sunday
break.
because
Yeah.
of PAX and
Yeah.
Excel was this weekend. So
Right, there's no games this
yeah,
weekend.
so just go to if you're alive, go to PAX. Otherwise, we'll see you online on Sunday morning.
Unplugged in Philadelphia.
Up until next
See you
time,
there.
come game with us.
Bye,
Have a good night.
guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.